Mics are hot. I'm looking for my stuff here. I don't have a clue where it is. What day is today? I think it's isn't this like Yahoo? It's Tuesday. Is
Tuesday?
You got the day right?
Yeah.
Second day of the work
day
week.
long.
Yeah. Second day of this here work week. Watch out. Watch out, y'all. There's a cold front coming through today. Be sure to bundle up if you're going outside. We'll have more on that during the weather. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Chris Marks.
I'm Lee Barris.
Yesterday, just how hot was it?
Hot as Hades.
Heat index for me on the mower was 112.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Imagine when you stopped it without that cool breeze coming at you. Cool breeze was what, 100 degrees?
And I don't know, because I was pushing it, so.
Oh, you weren't running that fast.
I'm a yard princess. I ride.
My. Somebody said something. They were mowing their lawn over the weekend, and I said, do you have by any chance one of those cages and a box and an air conditioning? He said, no, but I wish I did. Okay. I read about this lady yesterday who stopped in at the Publix in the afternoon yesterday. Did you hear about her?
No, I did
She
not.
bought a whole bucket of chocolate chip cookie dough.
Oh.
Had to fill up her car at the gas station before she got home.
Oh, no.
And then she ended up with a backseat full of the biggest chocolate chip cookie you have ever seen that she pulled into her driveway. It's got to be true. I read it on the internet.
Yeah,
I knew you were going there. I just
It's a
knew
fact.
it.
It is a fact, Jack. I read it on Facebook. So anyway, well, y'all need to go ahead and saddle up, get your mess ready.
All right.
Because, we got a bunch of stuff that's going to be going on today.
Rolling, though the streams are swollen, keep them doggies rolling.
Head them up, move them out, and there's no time to spare for Rawhide. Duck, you can't stop for Rawhide. We just got to go full bore today. So many directions. I don't even know which way to go. There's just so much going on. We've got the president again stirring the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's nothing newsworthy. It's newsworthy, but it's nothing news breaking. We got left-leaning loonies not even pretending to uphold and support our Constitution. I do declare, as a nice Southern lady would say. I'm doubting that they ever even learned enough to graduate the 6th grade when these people are making some of the ridiculous comments and doing things that they are doing every day. You're looking for a volume control?
I know, right?
She's getting good.
She's practicing for her license, what it is.
Yeah.
One of the radios was still on a little bit.
I don't quite understand. There are certain things that just are there. Clint Eastwood was a trail hand named Rowdy Yates on Rawhide, right?
Yes, it was.
He went on and did a lot of other stuff, including one of his biggest movies ever. But in addition to the spaghetti westerns, as they call them, he played Mr. Callahan.
Yeah. Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry Callahan.
Favorite movies of all time.
And his weapon of choice, of course. And when I went to see the movie with my cousin and his wife, and I hadn't even read anything about the movie. It's in the days when nothing was talked about until somebody said, let's go see a movie. He's got that guy, Rowdy H. standing. Okay, so I went to see the movie. And when he pulled that pistol out of his shoulder holster, I said, whoa, that's not a standard issue.
Mm-hmm.
And it went off. I said, that's not a 357 Magnum either, because it had a dull roar, like a shotgun roar, very loud. The 357 or the 38 specials, they got a sharp E, like burns your ears. And I said, what in the Sam Hill? I didn't have one at the time. Now I have 3 because I love those things. And it was, and I came up with a famous saying, go ahead, punk, make my day. As I did in those days.
Do you feel lucky?
You feel lucky.
Well, do you?
Make my day.
Did I fire 5 rounds?
My
Did I
favorite
fire
line.
6?
Make my day.
Each standalone cowboy episode, Rawhide, featured the trials, the tribulations of a bunch of cowhands. Cowboys who were running cattle to the market, to a railhead, to be shipped off for slaughter. Oh, for the simple days when men were men and supper was beef and beans.
Mm-hmm.
That was all there was. Meat and taters, y'all, or beef and beans.
That was it.
I think we, the people, are getting shortchanged. I don't think we're getting represented right. We had a revolution one time with a country called England,
Mm-hmm.
and they taxed us. We were a colony. We were a group of colonies at the time. We were here, the colonies, as we were referred to, but we were taxed. But we didn't have anybody representing us in the parliament, right?
Right.
And the taxation without representation was the key.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're back to that. Do we really have any representatives anywhere looking out for our best interests?
I hope so.
Well, in an ideal world, yes, we could say yes, we do, but
I'm not
we
talking
don't.
about warm bodies in stiff suits sitting in
Yeah.
a chamber somewhere. Talking about people who are really out there representing us who care.
I think they start out where they care. And they're going to say they care.
You mean when they sell us the bill of goods
Pretty good,
during the
yeah.
campaigns? Gotcha. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
we understand that. We, the people, are riding that rough trail that cowboys rode many years ago, not knowing at the beginning of each day what our leaders have in mind for us to end the day. They scream transparency, the most overused lie that sounds good, but seldom, if ever, is true. Now, there are exceptions that we have in every elected body in the country, I'm sure. Probably not too much to the west of Las Vegas, but there are exceptions to my cynical attitudes. Look at what we have representing us today. We have, you can call them outlaws. They're rabble-rousers. They're not the AOC rabble-rouser. She's just she's anti-humanity. But we've got congressmen, we got congresswomen, we've got senators, we've got mayors, we've got city council people, county commissioners. We got elected folks in the state house and the Senate.
Excuse me.
What are we getting our money's worth overall? Do you really feel good at the end of the day that you were a businessman, you knew that you had to have a certain ROI. Otherwise, the bosses are going to come down on your head, right?
Oh, yeah.
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 Well, and every business that I know about, they have an ROI, return on the investment. What's our return? What are we getting for the money we spend? And then they always, we need more. We need more money to do this or to do that. We need more. How can they get more? Thank God North Carolina doesn't allow it anymore, because I had a city councilman in Wilmington tell me one time, we have to annex. We have to force our annexation, because I was against it, as we're normal people.
Mm-hmm.
Forced annexation. What areas did they annex? A place that really needed some city assistance, or did they annex a place that had lots of people with lots of money?
Lots of
Well,
people,
let me
lots
think
of
about
money.
that. And he told me they
Yeah.
they would annex those places because they had nice, expensive homes, and the higher value of the homes, the more taxes they would pay us.
Mhm.
I'm like, you really didn't just say that, not to me, did you?
But that's good business.
But if that's what they're looking at, then they are not service oriented. They are pocket lining oriented, and that's all they do. And what are you going to do with the extra money? Well, we can take care of the roads. And at that time, I was living in Wilmington, and I was an extremely cynical reporter.
Mhm.
Go figure. I got up and I drove I can't tell you how many roads over 30 days that I drove and kept a distance from one end to the other. Dirt roads in the city limits of Wilmington, which is a very metropolitan area. The whole county is mostly metro, but in the city limits of Wilmington, the number of dirt roads that were there, and they wanted to annex other areas so they could get the money. Tell me what's wrong with the system that does that. Well, thank God, somehow or another, I don't know when it happened, but it did happen. Cities cannot force annexation anymore.
No, but what some cities are starting to do is find other ways of generating revenue. One, I believe it's Enfield, if I'm not mistaken. I was trying to explain to Kathy the other night. They actually sell. They provide the electricity and the water to the city. So when the city's electricity went down, they're still dealing with another power company. But
they're acting as their own provider.
Their own provider. And, good or bad.
Generally bad.
Generally.
If there's more government involved in it, it's bad.
And Kathy said, well, wasn't that happen here? And people don't understand.
Give them the idea.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It doesn't have, the power companies own the power poles. They own the lines that are up there.
Yep.
Cities aren't equipped to handle things like that.
No. All right, let's go to New York over the weekend.
Do we really need to?
Yeah, because let me get your blood going this morning. So just in case you have got a pulse, if you don't, I can get it going.
Wait a minute. Well, I have a watch.
An off-duty Border Patrol officer, that's a federal cop, y'all, 24 hours a day, with what we presume was his date for an evening on the waterfront, just walking the waterfront in New York. Things that we would do here, do in a lot of cities. Not a lot of people do it in New York for obvious reasons at 11 o'clock, 11:30 at nighttime. 2 illegal aliens drive up on a moped and some kind of a scooter of some sort, and they proceed to, one passenger gets off, pulls the guns, don't rob them. Well, this off-duty patrol officer, border patrol officer, a federal agent, carrying, as so many cops do, his sidearm. Off-duty, didn't matter. He pulled his gun. He got shot. Bullet hit him in the cheek, and then a second round hit him in the forearm, I think it was. He returned fire. Fired several rounds, several times, and took one of the guys, one of the 2 down, the other one took off like a bad out of you know where. He was gone. He left his buddy there bleeding. That's all right, not a problem. He got away for a little while. Miguel Francisco, now y'all need to listen to this. Miguel Francisco Mora Nunez, a Dominican national who was caught by Border Patrol in April of 2023, 2 years and several months ago, was taken into custody following the shooting. Wait a minute. You had him back in 2023. What'd you do with it? Well,
Deport him.
they got turned loose. The second man was apprehended without further incident. He was scared to death during the weekend. He's Christian Abar Barraro. I don't know. Another illegal immigrant from the Dominican Republic who entered the country illegally in 2022, according to the feds, and was ordered for final removal in 2023 by an immigration judge. First question, where were the 2? Why were they still here in this country? It's been 2 years. They were told, y'all gone. Well, they disappeared. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem puts the blame where it needs to be. Mora Nunez, the shooter, a.k.a. Dirtbag number 1, had been arrested 4 different times in New York City, not by the feds, but by New York City PD, and was released each time because of the city's sanctuary policies. Oh, crap. Here I go again. Dirtbag number 2, Ibar Baroa, has a criminal record in New York City, and the federal detainers were ignored. They had him in jail, and it came time to, we cut him loose. No, we're not going to honor those detainers. So they were ignored. For the leftist elite who had the personal protection of large number of police officers every day and every night in cities across this country. Look what you're responsible for. Shame on you. The young Border Patrol officer shot in the face and the forearm, no telling if he'll ever work again. Imagine his trauma. You do know that if a cop gets wounded in New York City, he's retired immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
They pay him forever just because he's been shot. It doesn't matter. That was the way it was a few years ago. It probably still is. Imagine this guy's trauma. Compare that to the drama queens and the elite squad of pansies. A car backfires somewhere and they need counseling and tranquilizers for a month. If it wasn't for the men and women in the police departments in these sanctuary cities needing all of the muscle they can get, if I was in charge, I would pull all federal police agencies away from those cities until the citizens, the ones with the ultimate power, remove those they elected from their thrones, dragging and screaming if necessary. I don't care. Only good from this attack, the officer had 2 minor wounds, one in the cheek, one in the arm, and the bad guy is one round in the leg, the other in the groin. There is some self-satisfaction on this one on the part of the cop, I'm absolutely sure. But think about it. This guy, he's out walking the waterfront. Yeah, it's an unusual time of night for a lot of people there, but a lot of people do it. But thank God he had a gun. Don't tell me where he would have ended up. They've got a whole history of these guys across the country doing stupid things. Mm-hmm. They got records in this country, and we keep turning them loose. They're snatched up now. Feds have got him.
Yeah, the same day, the story comes out. The mayor of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Karen.
Yeah.
Karen.
She is a Karen.
She's my favorite. Karen Bass.
She said, what we need the president to withdraw all these National Guards people that we need for fires later on, and not for the issues that are going on now.
Okay.
What is the most idiotic thing in that statement?
She didn't have a problem with him coming in to help with the fires, did she?
No, but she wants them all. She wants to wait until there's a fire to call them back in. Not to. Look, they have a fire going on right now.
Every night.
It's out of control fire. It is not under control at all. Not at all. I'd pull the troops out and let the citizens of Los Angeles explain to just to go and just walk up and get yourself a camera. You can find plenty of them in LA. Here's what we're going to do, folks. Here's my number. Here's my hotline number from Christy Nome and whoever, every federal bigwig. Give them their numbers that are in their offices that come to a hotline in their offices. When y'all are fed up enough, when you've had all you can take, call us. We'll come back and answer your call for assistance. But we're pulling out right now. And if I was you, I would either move or barricade.
Well, Chris brings up a good point, because every night still at the back parking lot of the LA detention center, there are still a group of protesters out there every single afternoon, early evening into late night. And there are still LAPD officers along with National Guard that are having to guard and keep them from coming into the parking lot. And, you know, what was really strange when this happened over the weekend with the LA sheriff deputies being killed transporting a grenade, that all happened in the same place. And so when the story first came out, everybody was like, what's going on? Well, of course, it ended up being something different. But every night that there's a group of protesters out there, and I'm like, do you people not have a job? Do you people not have families? I mean, it's Charlie. I mean, it's continuous out there, and still out there last night, because I'll switch over to the live feed every night and watch it for a few minutes. So I'm like, fools.
What's y'all say? A fool and their money are soon parted. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, a fool and your property will soon be parted if you keep this garbage up.
Where do you think the Council of Los Angeles is going to come up with the money to help protect you?
Well, if it's up to the mayor, she believes everybody has a right to protest. So burn the city down.
Well,
and
let me tell you this.
the mayor's just like, well, they have a right to protest.
Here's my take on that, Madam Mayor. I have a right to defend my property and myself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of my neighbors and I, we have formed a group.
Right.
We got a group going here, and we are going to protect ourselves and our neighborhoods. Will be protected. I would strongly suggest that LAPD and the city put some barricades around our neighborhood, because those who come in here without proper credentials, just keep an EM unit on standby. Charlie, are you there?
Earl days.
Hey, so I'm going to make this very quick. You guys know who Zohran Mamdani is, right? The Indian far-right individual that wants to be the mayor of New York City.
I don't know him personally, but I know who he is, yes.
You know what's even worse? Have you guys the Minneapolis mayor? His name is Omar Fati.
I have not.
No.
You guys got to Google it. Yeah, he's probably going to become the next mayor of Minneapolis. His name is Omar Fati, F-A-T-E-H. He's a radical Islamist. He basically believes in Sharia or Sharia law. I'm not educated. I'm not articulate to explain what Sharia law means, but I think he's from Syria. And I think some of these people, they come from these countries that they're radicalized, they're socialists, and they're trying to bring their values and their views to America. And there's so many people in their community that come from these countries. They're going to vote for these people.
There are.
I think it's really. What's that?
You're right. They will be voting for them.
You know, it's funny. I'm watching you guys.
Uh-huh.
You guys, you know, I think you're good people. I think that you welcome people. I don't think you're racist. I listen to you guys. I think that, you know, whether they're Jewish, whether they're Presbyterian, whether they're Amish, I think you welcome them. But I think if they're extremists, you don't want them in this country. I think they're going to start electing extremists. And it concerns me of where this country is going to go. So maybe I'm wrong. So maybe you guys have your own thoughts, and you can say, Charlie, you know, you really don't know what you're talking about. You can say, Charlie, I kind of agree with you. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay. Take care, Charlie.
I would give some thought here.
Fati has received many comparisons to New York City's Mayor Zohran Mamdani. Like Mamdani, Fati
He wants to be mayor, yeah.
is a Muslim Democrat socialist, and at 35, a fellow member of Generation Y.
Well, they can all, that's all well and good. You know, and they can be elected and whatever. In Minneapolis, at least we know that they're in one spot there in Minneapolis, and we can take a close look at them, and we can figure it out. Because, you know, that's where a whole lot of the Islamic extremist movement is headquartered, right?
Right.
That's where what happens out there. So anyway, high pressure will move in from the north midweek this week, bringing some moderate northeasterly winds and more comfortable weather to this area. Heat and humidity will be back in place late in the week. Offshore today, northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet every 3 seconds. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop every 3 seconds. They're small waves, but they're really close together. So in other words, it's going to be that's the way it will be offshore. Wednesday, tomorrow, northeasterly winds around 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. They're going to be 6 seconds apart, a little easier to maneuver. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop. And on Thursday, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, becoming southeasterly in the afternoon, seas 2 to 4 feet every 8 seconds. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop, diminishing to light in the afternoon.
Okay, today we have a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a high near 88. Northeast wind 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 16. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 71. Wednesday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny with a high near 89. And Thursday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, partly sunny with a high near 91. And we do have news that this weekend the heat's climbing back up. Saturday's already looking at possibility of 97.
It's going to be Fry Baby without the plugging it in.
Well, should I announce the sad news that I sent you all yesterday?
Yeah,
Yes,
go
please do.
ahead. Poor guy.
Very sad news with the weather. The inventor of the heat index has died. He was 88, but felt like 107.
Yeah, and we felt like 107 too. Maybe he's gone. We won't have to put up with that anymore.
Well, you know, yesterday several times I was telling you I was looking at the temperature on my weather station. It was showing 101 degrees in my backyard. I'm like, ah. So nothing got done
Seven in
yesterday.
the shade.
Near your bonfire.
Sure.
Out here in Onslow County, from some guys, people. It's not just me that gets up early in the morning. We've got a bunch of ham radio operators around here, members of the Onslow Amateur Radio Club, and I started hearing them in the mornings some time ago. Started paying attention. They were just talking. They chewed the breeze, pardon the pun, about what their current weather conditions are. So, to our weather spotters here, the live and local weather spotters. From the Onslow Amateur Radio Club. We're going to go to the borough, the Swansboro area, first thing this morning. Good old Joe out there said it was 80 degrees at 6:30 this morning. Had no rain overnight. No, I'm sorry. It was. I got to get him. I got him backwards. Okay, it's 78 degrees at the borough this morning. That was yesterday. 78 degrees at the borough this morning. He had 0.69 inches of rain yesterday afternoon. We had some storms to come through here. Randy out there in the southwest area, his temperature this morning at 6:30 was 77, no rain. And our buddy in the back swamp international area, Lee, the other one.
Yes, the other Lee.
It was 77, and he had no rainfall overnight yesterday afternoon at all.
And
Here at the studio, it was 70 at that time. It was 74. It's now 75 degrees, and we had 0.04 inches of rain yesterday. We had a little bit of a rainful thing to come through.
Well,
here.
at the Barrows this morning.
At
not
the
the
Barrows,
Barrow,
not
but
the
the
Barrows, the Barrows.
It was 78 degrees, and I received 0 rain yesterday. Zero.
This morning, 79 degrees in Richlands, and at the house yesterday, we received 18 drops.
Were they big drops?
They actually were big drops. Yeah. But
Our
Sure, that wasn't the birds.
I knew that was airport, low flying planes empty, purging on the way home. You ever thought about that?
I try not to.
I've had that happen.
With some of the little small military planes, they've got these little tubes there.
Yeah.
It's just where men are flying on to go out to an aircraft
Right,
or whatever.
for-
Oh yeah, baby, that's what happens. Jack.
Buckets with lids.
No.
This is kind of going to lead into two stories, but the B-52s, I think they were, that they're equipped with microwaves,
Yep.
bathrooms,
Yep.
all this. But that story about the airliner that the pilot was giving play-by-play to the to the passengers, going, "Yeah, I'm sorry about that turn. There was a B-52 too close to us."
You ever been on any planes where the flight attendant or you'd hear the captain making comments or something like that? Generally commuter hops.
Yeah.
I've been on several of those coming back from Atlanta or from Miami at nighttime, and it gets to be rather funny when you're on there late at night and there's, plane might hold 40 people or something like that, and you got 10 people on board. Oh, they're out there cutting up.
Oh, the gosh.
Just sit wherever you want to see. You want to get up, move around. This is not a problem. The pilot will tell you if we get in an air terminus, you can walk around. Just meet your neighbors. Go ahead and talk. Things like that.
Yeah,
They were always funny. I love them.
Flight attendant from Charlotte at Jacksonville said,
Oh.
and do not unbuckle your seatbelt before you're told to, because I will know and I will come back and see you.
I not only buckle mine, I take the guy sitting next to me, I take his seatbelt. I mean, just like, that's all you have to say.
She's the one if the seat's empty next to her. She'll buckle that one.
Heck yeah, slip my leg through it and buckle that one.
I'm sure y'all have read about the first son of the ex-president, the doper son who lied on a federal form so he could buy a gun, who was pardoned by daddy for anything he had ever done and anything he might do through the end of last year. His punk mouth saying he would invade El Salvador if leaders there would not return the illegal thugs they agreed to take off our hands for a fee. Yep, that's the guy.
He did rant
Oh, he did a rant. He did one that we can't even say on the air here. We can't repeat because every other word was that word.
Yeah, take that word and substitute it for
Everything, A or
fun.
D or anything else. And you know, I've never seen such a, with a microphone present and knowing a microphone is present because it's sitting right there in front of you. I've never seen anybody go off like that.
You can't tell me he's not still on drugs.
You've got to be. The drugs would have calmed him down unless he was taking something stupid. But he just went off on everything.
Yes. I mean, here's some of his quotes. Am I
Careful.
not supposed to feel for someone? Am I going to be like all these Democrats and say you have to talk about and realize that the people are really upset about illegal immigration? You. How do you think your hotel room gets clean? How do you think you got your food on your table? Who do you think washes your dishes? Who do you think does your gardening? Who do you think is here? By the sheer just grit. And will they figure out a way to get here because they thought that they could give themselves and their family a better chance? What?
The report brought to you by Lee Barrows. Tomorrow's report is for sale. Anybody want to buy spots in tomorrow's report?
Dial soap listening.
Yeah, sponsored by Coca-Cola. Yeah. He was sponsored, by Coke.
I'm reading that. I'm thinking this big mouth, not potty mouth. He's way beyond the potty. This guy so brave. Why? Why does he think he's so brave? He set himself up to get his face kicked in. You know that, right?
Oh yeah.
He's going to get punched out. You wait and see. Somebody. Does he still have Secret Service protection? I think he.
Yes.
Are you sure? And at some point in time, the relatives of the ex-president, they lose that.
Yeah.
I don't know about him. I don't know how long. Is it a year or is it 10 days?
I'll have to research
5
that.
minutes?
Well,
He dodged them for so long anyway because he was trying to. You can't go buying dope in front of a federal Secret Service agent, okay? You can't ask the agent, hey man, can you score me some dope? I can't get out. I can't leave the house. I got an ankle bracelet on.
Yeah, that you might be able to drop
Just
a bag
leave-
in the White House somewhere.
Just leave it in the library.
Stash.
In between Encyclopedia E and H. Yeah, well, you know what? That rant that he went on, here you had a CPD agent that was shot in the face by two criminal, illegal immigrants, but he's more concerned about who's going to clean his hotel room, who's going to do his gardening, who's going to cook his dinners.
Well, 2 of those 3 I generally do. I don't clean the hotel room, but
I do.
You'll clean it before or after?
As I stay there.
Okay. Well, I clean
Well,
it.
yeah, I make my bed. I make the bed.
Uh-huh.
I do too.
But, you know,
I always straighten up the room before
Do
I
you
leave
put some
before I
chocolate
check
on it
out.
for the next night?
for myself, yeah.
Just checking. Just want to be
I'm
sure.
not even gonna go there.
No, don't.
So,
But you bring up a good point. Like before, generally, my sister and I would take sister vacations, and before we leave, we always straighten up everything. We we don't make the bed entirely. We fold everything down. We take all the wet towels and fold them neatly, put them on top of the bathtub. We do. I don't like to leave a messy
I don't
room.
fold them. I put them all together. If I fold them, I'm afraid they might think they're ready to go.
Oh no, they're wet. You can tell they're dirty, but and even like when we're staying at, we always put up we don't need the room cleaned today because I don't want anybody going in there.
That's the
I've
other
got
thing.
my personal stuff in there.
yeah.
They don't need to come in there, be going through my suitcases to see what color drawers are in there. I'm very personal about that. Men don't care, women do. Ask the president's wife, Melania, when they went in there and searched her underwear drawer. Well, there was a.
I'm afraid to ask.
She's still mad at the Bidens over that.
Yeah.
Women are different than men. We just don't like ourselves going through.
Thank God
And you know, drawers are a natural clothing item for everyone. Everybody has them.
Not necessarily.
Well, most everybody has them on a regular basis. I'm not saying they wear them all the time, but you know.
Haven't you ever had a plumber visit your house?
That's a whole nother talk about astronomy and the sun and the moon.
Especially the moon.
I wanted to mention this. Everyone's talking about that E guy. That's what I'm going to start referring to. The big E.
Well, we're going to talk about him too.
The E guy, are you talking about Epstein?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You have to spell it out for
Epstein,
me.
that's Epstein. And all this stuff. Does anybody remember back the name Marilyn Monroe and what president that she was?
I remember. Well, the only thing that I can say about him, he had class.
Yes, he had.
Then there's Clinton.
I did not have.
Well, you know what? I know you probably don't want to talk about this, Raven, but I'm gonna direct us to Chris, my competition.
Okay.
The Coldplay concert where all that stuff broke the internet of a CEO and his human. Well, I don't. But what has set the internet on fire is all these viral memes that have been floating, and it shows different people.
Yeah.
Like there's one showing Clinton and Monica, you know, and it's sitting in a audience or stadium, and the camera turns on them, and he shoves her through the air. And then there's ones with Trump and Hillary. I mean, these people are hilarious. People are hilarious when they latch on to something like this that's happened, and they start making fun of it. The late night talk shows are going wild. I mean, it is hilarious.
Yeah.
Over something stupid.
And personally, I'd like to say goodbye, Stephen. You weren't funny at all.
Yeah,
you were
Stephen
never funny.
Colbert got
See ya. Glad
fired.
about you. But anyway, so long. But anyway.
Colbert.
Okay.
Yes.
Alan Dershowitz.
God, is he still around?
Noted attorney, sometimes described as a bit of a radical attorney, would you say?
Yes.
His client, one of them, Jeffrey Epstein. Lo and behold, this aging attorney says he was made privy to a couple names, Democrats, he said, who were on the infamous list of clients that doesn't exist for services provided by Epstein's stable of underage girls. But he goes on to say, I saw that list. I saw the names. 2 of them. I heard about another one. And then the people they were interviewing, where those names popped up during the interview sessions.
Yeah.
Of course, he was representing his client. He said at points not long after that, they were challenged about the credibility and the time and place didn't match up. So he said those were all debunked. So those names are still out there floating, making the rounds, floating around here and there and everywhere. He said, I was one of the names. Dershowitz was one supposedly mentioned.
Yeah.
Along with Trump, Hillary, the Clintons, both of them. And some claims. And he said that you got these underage girls, you got people who are 16 or under. Have you ever tried to get into the head of a 16-year-old female?
No.
Yeah, buddy. They're in La La Land to begin with.
Yeah.
So I don't know what was going on. I do know that Epstein, in my personal opinion, with all of the information that has come out, was a scumbucket. And that thing that was with him, who's now serving his prison sentence for him and for herself, they were both sleaze buckets.
Yeah.
They're not the only ones. We had them here in Jacksonville every other weekend back in the 70s. They were transported here. We had stables brought in from out of state to work the streets because we didn't have enough of our homegrown hookers to service the personnel who were here.
Right.
Oh, yeah. They came up from Florida.
They came from D.C. And do you know that transporting across the state line for the purposes of prostitution is a federal offense, right? The Mann Act.
All I can tell you is we used to ride the streets of Court Street when we were in high school just to see the fun. It was an education.
I used to take people that would visit who weren't from here.
Right.
Just take them down to watch the fun. I kid you not. And of course, I was the heat, so I was okay. But just to do that, I'll never forget on the side street there that Costco printing was on. I still don't know the name of that street,
Costco.
whichever it is. I got to stop and look at that one day. But I turned to go that way off of Old Bridge Street, and I had
Sure wasn't railroad.
and there's a guy standing there trying to get into a parked car in the dark. I said, okay, well, I said, you guys need to sit tight here for just a minute. I'll be right back. So I got out and I walked up to him. Hey, man, can I help you? He said, I can't get into my car. My keys are somewhere in this car. They got to be in here. I can't get into the car. And he said, I can't find my keys. They got to be locked in the car. And I said, well, I can probably help you out here a little bit. I said, first of all, you got your registration for the car? Nobody's in the car. I said, well, you got your driver's license? He said, yeah, why? And then I popped a badge on him. He said, then he turned all shades of red. I expected he was going to run on me, but he didn't. He stood right there. And I said, it was wintertime. I said, do you mind if I, for a couple of reasons. One, I just want to look for your keys, but I also want to make sure I'm safe. I'm going to pat you down right here. And I reached into his coat pocket and I said, here are your keys. Now you can go on your way. He felt relieved and embarrassed at the same time.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could tell talking to him that he was not a bad person as soon as I started chatting with him.
Yeah, we've all had those days.
I mean, but it got to be funny. And of course, he got back in the car and that became the topic of the evening. It was funny.
Have you ever done this? Be talking on your phone. Yeah, wait a minute. I'm getting ready to go, but I'm trying to find my phone.
I haven't, but you're blonde.
Not naturally.
Well, we play when we lose our phones at home.
Don't do it.
Call my phone so I can see where I left it. I just hope it's not on vibrate.
I have that on my watch where I can actually call my phone.
From your watch?
From my watch. Watch. I meant shoot. Then you just have to walk room to room and listen for it to get louder. See, if you had an app for that, Rayford.
You know, when it used to be when people were not at home during the day, you know, they were working or something.
Right.
And there was a thunderstorm that came through and they got power outages here, there, and everywhere. You know, the number one thing that happened from work that people did, they called their home. If they did not get their phone mate, their answering machine, they knew the power was out.
I done that.
That used to be, everybody has.
And that just brings to mind all of a sudden something that happened last night that I definitely want to talk to you about. Okay. I've got my two little ham radios and Rayford's programmed them all for me. Well, I left one of them on last night because I enjoyed listening to it and what was happening around Jacksonville. And next thing I know, Alexa and the ham radio are talking to each other. What's up with that?
I don't know. I was looking for my phone. It was on my hip. We have coming up here, and you need to continue talking for a minute. We have coming up here who?
Oh, we have Joshua Ray. He is Jacksonville's city manager. He's been on our show before, and we so enjoyed having him in here with us, and he's back, and he's going to talk about Jacksonville receiving an All-American Award. It's the first award since, was it 1992?
Yep.
That's what
I think we got it. We won it before 1992. I think there was only 10 cities that were given this award. And it's based on the things that the city of Jacksonville has done as far as making it a greener area to live in. And we should all be so proud of this because for those of you that live in this city, every little thing you do, like recycling, like you should, getting your trash out and keeping your yards cut, not pouring insecticides down the drains, etc. All that you do, yes, helps contribute towards this award. And I think Jacksonville has grown so big over the years, right, Chris?
Yes, they have.
And
Seen it all.
yes, and we incorporated Camp Lejeune, also the military base. And I know Tom had made a comment earlier on our Facebook when Rayford was talking about annexing areas that are rich.
Yeah.
And he said, well, is that why they annexed Camp Lejeune into the city?
No, they did that for voters, well, for people, so they could have, not voters, but people who could vote if they wanted to.
Right.
And they did that to get them inside the city. It makes the city look
Right.
bigger.
Yes.
So you're entitled to more grant money for this and that and everything
we
else.
are
And you don't have to
bigger.
pay. You don't have to supply power. You don't have to supply water. You don't have to supply pickups, garbage pickup. You don't have to supply schools. You don't have to, in most cases.
Yes.
There's a lot we don't have to do, but we get to take advantage of the population, extra population. That's one thing.
Well, the city was recognized for its efforts in environmental sustainability through community engagement. So, see, everything that we do, live in the city, counts. I mean, but you've got the initiatives that included like the Sturgeon City
Sure.
Environmental Education Center,
Yep.
the Wilson Bay Initiative. Remember what we did? We started with Wilson Bay,
Cleaned it up.
and then Oyster Highway, which is also known as Highway 17.
Now, I mentioned I went off kind of like on a direction there with the population. And if
Right.
we annexed all those people, we get all those people included. So therefore, but you got to understand too, those same people, they drive our highways,
That's
they
right.
buy cars here, they do lots of stuff
They're
here.
part of us.
So they are part of us. But by annexing them, we can get some extra funds in here, grant money from time to time, to help provide the services that they do consume when they're not living aboard Camp Lejeune.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't spend 24/7 aboard the base.
No.
Okay. And unless they've got a problem and they're confined in that little thing with a funny little wire around the top. Used to call it the brig.
I think they still do.
It's called the corrections center now. Corrections facility
I
or
still
something.
call it
Whatever.
brig.
It's the brig.
You know, we were only one of 3 cities in North Carolina to receive this. Kinston got it, and Carlborough.
Carborough.
Carlborough also were named
That's
All-American
the city
cities.
of cars.
Yeah. But yeah, only 3 cities in North Carolina received it. Yeah.
We talk about, and Rayford, you were talking about coming in Jacksonville, spending money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
They
so,
contribute every time they come into Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So we had that festival this past weekend.
Yeah.
At Jacksonville Commons. This weekend, we have the Ola Festival coming in.
Hola.
We had a meeting last night because our group is going to be out there with some booths and
With some what?
booths.
Oh,
Boots and boots. Reminds me of my cousin. Anyway, cousin Vinny.
Vinny.
Yeah, do you remember that movie, Cousin Vinny?
Yeah.
And Your Honor, these 2 Utes.
Utes.
What did you say? Utes. Utes. These, but
Remember that.
there's bands coming in from Georgia, South Carolina, Virginia, and they're all staying in hotels.
Yes.
There's revenue there. They're going to be eating in restaurants, other than the food trucks that'll be out there. So when we have these festivals, and even if they're not the large festivals, they contribute to our area.
All right. Okay. We do have our city manager from Jacksonville.
Here shortly.
He's on the way. I just sent him the address again to make sure he had it. So he's en route to this location.
And
Very
so
good.
if you have a question for him,
right? Yeah.
will he take questions?
I'm sure he will.
910-333-0139.
Unless you want to ask him about ice, because I'm going to do that.
Ask him about ice.
Ice. I'm going to ask him about ice. We need a
We're
lot of
talking
it because
about
it's getting hot.
I know where you were going. Yeah.
No, and if Theo
You'd never
calls,
know where
we're
I'm
not
going.
taking your call while the city manager's here.
Oh, we will take the call.
He'll take the other.
No,
He'll
Theo,
take the
no.
call.
Well,
Theo has some good questions.
well, he did. And Theo, I'm working on the back of that shiny little spot. So whenever I'm on that side.
Ronco, I think it is. Didn't they have one?
Yeah.
Spray on side.
Yeah, I have stories about that. Not for me, but for some.
I got one too from our meteorologist. That overhead camera, he found out that he was losing by looking at it, found out on the camera. Next
That
thing
was
I
not
knew,
the moon.
sprayed
It was your head.
Uh-huh. Iran yesterday
All
confirmed it will not give up its nuclear enrichment program in an exclusive interview on Fox News. But what? What? This idiot confirmed that the U.S. top ambition in preventing Tehran from further developing a nuclear weapon by blocking all enrichment capabilities is unlikely to come to fruition, regardless of threats from the international communities as well. So they're going to go it alone with Russia that doesn't want any part of this? Who's going to be on their side?
Nobody.
North Korea? Oh, yeah, good. The pimple. Someone going to pop him one of these days. You wait and see. I didn't mean it exactly like that, people. Don't take me exactly what I say sometimes. It might not be exactly what I mean. And then again, it might. Where was he a month ago?
Kim Jong?
No.
Oh.
These idiots and from Iran who are now saying, the foreign minister, Aragici, whatever. Where was he when all those flights from over here kept dropping stuff over there and things went kaboom, kaboom, kaboom,
In a
kaboom?
shelter somewhere.
They might not have any shelters left.
They might
You
not.
keep talking, dude. There's a thing called don't poke the bear.
Mm-hmm.
And if the bear does not have any scruples, and I'm talking about our president, if he doesn't have any issues with sending our military might your way to say, good morning, how you doing? He doesn't care. He really doesn't care. He has been pretty diligent in telling the troops, as the commander-in-chief, we've got to hold down collateral damage, and we have done that. Amazingly, we have done that.
Yes.
Do you think that they would have shown us the same courtesy?
No.
Okay. Do you think any of our enemies would have shown that kind of courtesy to us?
No.
Uh-huh. I'm glad we're doing that. There are so many innocent people that have been planted, supposedly blocking both troops and both incoming missiles and everything else from reaching their intended targets. Y'all need to back up, pack your bags, and try to move. Go find yourself your own cave somewhere and hide. Just don't put an X on it outside. And if you scan it at any time and you see suddenly some red dots showing up on it when you hear planes overhead, you might want to move because that's being painted. All right? Now, I don't mean with brushes. If you know what I mean by painted.
Yeah.
You do. There are people on the ground over there with devices that paint these targets to make absolutely sure our planes can see exactly where they are and they don't make mistakes.
Yeah.
Because those bombs are expensive.
Imagine.
But this idiot says we're going to continue enriching nuclear stuff and we're going to build us a bigger bomb. He didn't say that part, but that's just what he meant. That's what he was going to say. You're stupid, dude. You're dumb. Now, you just painted a target on yourself. We've also taken out some strategic targets. And if you want to take out the mouthpiece here, goodbye, Mr. Foreign Minister Aragachi. That will be up close and personal.
We have the best trained military forces in the world, and it's been proven you cannot hide. Simple as that. You might hide for a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two. You're going to get found.
Whatever you hide behind is going to be about, to me, remember the cowboy movies where the first thing to do when the shots are fired in the saloon, they turn a table up.
Oh, yeah.
A 3/8-inch piece of wood table standing in front of them to hold off the incoming firepower from a 45 long Colt. No, things don't go well for you. You're just going to get splinters along with some lead. That's a big fallacy if there's ever been one. So some of them are just eat up with dumb. You can't help them. You know, I don't know what to say about them, but I got to hide our stash here.
Yes.
Somebody might see it.
All right, Theo, put your sunglasses on. I'm gonna move over to the.
You know, if you put that cover on backwards over there, you can
Yeah.
also
We
advertise.
have
the,
a special guest that's going to take the hot seat over here.
You can, when you do that, you can advertise the one
Come
of
on
the
over,
special
Mr.
ship that I
Ray.
was on for a couple of days. I love that thing, the North Carolina, USS North Carolina submarine.
Great to see you again.
I bet I've been diving a lot deeper than a lot of people around here. I was over 800 feet one night.
800 feet. You were down that? What?
Yeah, I was.
800 feet?
Yeah.
Did you see the Titanic?
No, that's at 12,000 feet.
It's deep enough for me.
But I was aboard a submarine.
Oh, I thought you were talking about diving. I missed that.
I was.
I
What do you
was
think
not paying-
submarines do? Haven't you ever watched those movies? Dive.
Dive. What was the name of that show that was on all the time?
Dive. Secret
No.
Service was one of them back in the
That
day.
was the Submarine Show. What was it, Chris? We watched as kids.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
No.
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 The one with
Joshua remembers that.
the one with Admiral Nelson. I mean, what was that submarine show that was on every week? You don't. You're a baby.
He remembered 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Thank you.
That was a
Appreciate
movie.
that.
You're welcome, Joshua.
That's on a game.
No, what? That was a great show.
What was the
20,000 Leagues
name
Under
of?
the Sea?
No, what was the name? There was a different one, wasn't there?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was a submarine show that came on once a week,
Uh-huh.
and it was all military. They're always getting into some kind of
I
excursion.
don't know.
Somebody
We're going to
knows.
turn that off because it's blowing
Yes.
into your
Turn it off.
microphone.
Can you turn me on?
I'm sorry.
Sure.
No, not you.
Yeah. No, I know, but hey, I know.
Points to the bottom of the sea. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
He
See?
had to Google it. You could have done that.
Voice to the bottom of the sea.
Well, at least he knew where to look. He knew where to look.
I've been on a lot of ships that have been to the bottom of the sea, but they're still there.
Voyage to the bottom of the sea. I can remember watching that as a kid. My brother and myself watching that every. I think it was Sunday nights.
Including Queen Anne's Revenge.
Came out in 1964.
Wow.
Okay.
See, yeah, we
You
were
were
very
born.
young, very, very, very young.
Joshua Ray, good morning,
Just
sir. How
had
you
a quick-
doing?
Good morning, sir. Thanks for allowing me to be here this morning.
Well,
we're excited.
Thanks for gracing us with you know how to get here now, right?
No, I'm still driving around the neighborhood looking for different things.
Yeah, but I mean, for the future references, you know how to get
No,
here.
I'm going with a hard no.
Yeah.
I knew where I was going, and then I followed my own directions, and I ended up lost. So, good thing is I've seen all 4 fire stations this morning. They're all doing well. And the police officers are out throughout the city, and the trash truck just came down. So if you don't have your trash out, it's Tuesday. I'm reminding you, you're probably a little late.
Did you find the
think I
golf
did.
course right across?
The interesting thing is I looked at the golf course to
Okay.
see if the holes were looking better now, since they're in a
Yeah.
rebuild right now for their greens, and there's not a lot of activity out there. So I think that's a good sign.
It's too hot.
It's the moles I let loose out of my yard.
Yeah, you want to find some extra holes for the golf course? Just trap the moles she's got in her
Come
yard.
in my
Take them
yard.
over there, dig some for you.
Rayford, they're about gone. I've been working hard on this, doing it the natural way, not killing them, but running them out.
You and those sonar things. They don't work.
Those don't work. Those do not work. Those sonar things,
But I
they're
bought them
junk.
because you said they did work.
I'll give you mine.
They don't work.
You can add more. No, they don't work. I had
But you have
to.
some more that don't work.
I had to go to a professional gardener who's got a degree and find out the correct way to do it.
Water
And
hose.
I love
in the
both my
trench.
neighbors, and
They'll
so
drown.
Caddyshack.
Yeah, there you go.
if you have a neighbor you don't like, you have the option of running them that way. But no, I like my neighbors, and I ran them to the ditch. So
We'll talk.
I sent you all the information. It's Charlie.
Okay.
We're here to
Anyway,
assist
good
you guys
morning.
in case you have varmint problems or something in the city.
I've become an
I'll send a
expert.
message now and find out if we have those issues.
Yeah, she can take care of them.
That sounds like we got a professional.
Well, if you didn't have them, she's all captured them live and sent them over to your turf now, so you will have them.
Hopefully they're in the ditch back behind the property line that runs all the way down the
Anyway,
street.
Joshua Ray, city manager,
Yes.
city of Jacksonville. How long you been on board now? Was it 2 years?
About 3 years now.
3 years.
3 years
Wow.
is,
Few weeks away from 3 years.
seems longer.
Still got your hair.
Yeah, I it's a start. It's not kind of like presidential where it all just goes or turns gray or there's that
Yeah.
stress. You know, the beauty of our team is it's a well-oiled machine that doesn't cause a lot of stress on a daily basis.
What's irritating for people like us. Honestly, gotta be honest for a minute. For once in my life.
Is it a hair joke or is it going to be good?
No, it's not a joke. I just want to be honest. Cities like Jacksonville, I came from a line of being a cop that investigated things, right? But then I was a journalist, a real one. This is not journalism here. This is entertainment. But I was a journalist. I was a television news director. Before that, I was a reporter. I did the thing. I was an investigative reporter. Other cities are ripe in stories that I can investigate and turn up all sorts of crud. Jacksonville, you suck.
What?
You're welcome.
We don't get.
Isn't that a beautiful conundrum?
To be in my position now, I love it because I live here, and I love being able to live in a city like this where that kind of crap is really not going on. If it is, it's gotten past me, and I don't think it would very long.
It's amazing. The mayor and I had this conversation last week, and we were on a call, and we were talking about some of our neighboring communities that have some issues. You may have seen some
You've been
things.
like 40 miles from here.
Plus or minus, wherever they're at.
Uh-huh.
Neighboring cities, there's over 550 in North Carolina, so there are others that could have some issues, but there are multiple issues that they're dealing with. And I tell you, the good Lord has blessed us with a community that can extremely value our neighbors, where we're not running our moles straight across. We're putting them in the ditch off the back. That's a great example of some of that goodness that you see
And
here.
we don't care nothing about no PETA.
I did it all natural, nothing
It's
harmful.
all natural.
They wouldn't feel a thing.
They're happy little moles. They're just
Quick.
not in my yard.
It's painless. But that's the beauty of the community that we have.
If that's the biggest problem we've got in our community, I mean,
We'll take
I
it.
can't find any dirt on your council people, the city manager. I mean, I've looked, I've tried,
Whatever it is, my
Right.
city, your city,
I know
our
it is.
It's
city.
our city.
and we went to that place right there.
What?
We both went to that place
Oh,
right
yeah.
there. Jacksonville
All
High
three
School.
of us are
All three of us.
graduates
All
of
three of us
Jacksonville
are.
High School.
I was pointing at a cardinal here, and I was trying to figure out why we were pointing at the
Or
cardinal.
Cardinals, forward ever, backward.
Well, he's got some bling. That cardinal does.
It does have some of that bling.
He's got to have some bling.
But I tell you, that's part of that message for how our community operates in a place where we don't have the highs and the lows. I mean, you saw maybe the video a couple of weeks ago where one of our officers was knocked down by
Yes.
an individual.
Yep.
And
Yes.
lo and behold, Karate Kid comes out of the background and drop kicks the person. And that's part of that community where other communities don't have that happen in
Yeah.
theirs. If a police officer's knocked down another community, there may be 3 or 4 people that converge on that officer. And I've seen,
right.
and then they video that.
Yeah, that's right.
We videoed a spinning round kick that said, pick her back up. She's about to arrest you for
that
something.
was an
Go
awesome
ahead and put
It's
your hands down
video.
now while
Yeah.
you still got them.
It's unbelievable to see that. And the mayor and our conversation was when you have a military host city and you have 40,000 men and women that serve in the Marine
Right.
Corps and you have the value in this community, there's a synergy, there's an understanding, there's a respect. These Marines don't have to carry weapons. They're trained to defend our community, and it's such a blessing to see it. I'm glad you pointed that out because it's amazing for
I'm
us.
going to tell you one other thing. With our guys and gals in uniform, they respect a uniform too. Our mayor, Sammy, he knows he walked that street. Jack Bright, who's listening, Paul Buchanan, who's listening, no doubt about it. They've all walked those streets downtown way back when.
Mhm.
And I had nothing but in the uniform, sir, I don't care how drunk you are. It was sir. And they would straighten right up. I did not have, once you approached, as long as they weren't criminal elements, as long as they're just rowdy, had too much to drink at age 18, 19 in those days, they would respect the uniform, regardless of what the uniform was. Maybe they were too blind to see it at that time, but they knew it was a uniform. But they were Marines, and they had learned respect if they didn't have it when they got in the Corps.
Yeah, it's crazy that a lot of people don't learn that level of respect growing up anymore. So if they don't go
Too many
somewhere
don't.
else to get it, I heard a conversation yesterday where we're talking about being able to engage with our kids in the school system. And a lot of these professionals can't engage with the kids because they have no respect for them. And so you come from a different community and being raised by a sheriff's deputy for my whole life and understanding that level of respect and then the respect of our good Lord, You got these things that say this is who we are as a person. So what does that mean when we're going out? So you see some challenges and you see some opportunities. But for us here, it is different than our neighbors.
It is.
And it's an incredible blessing to know that that's the community that we live in. 3 years now, and hopefully the plan is we get to make it another 13 or 14 here. And but you never know. Councils come up. We got 8 people running for election coming up here in the next little bit.
Oh, yes.
With Mr. Bittner, Mr. Warden not running for re-election. That's a big loss for our community. But hopefully we have people step up that can fill those shoes and provide that leadership that we need to maintain that level of excellence.
I don't know a lot of them, but I do know one of them very well, extremely well. So he will do a good job.
Yes,
Right.
yes. Oh, I just happen to know him too.
Mm-hmm.
Might be helping him.
Well,
I know that Jerry Bittner and Bob Warden are
Bob is a great guy. I didn't
Top
know
notch.
Jerry very well.
Bob Warden, and he will tell you, I said this just very recently, he has been my favorite councilman for all the years. He's a great guy. He's a graduate too, and he's
Yeah, I know
lifelong
he did.
city boy.
Yeah.
And him and his wife are wonderful people, and I was saddened to hear that he was not going to run again, but I do understand. I completely understand
At
why.
some point in time, you figure it's time to
Yes.
give up the ghost because I got to
Yes.
play golf or go fishing.
Yes.
Jerry and I go way back. Jerry was the city manager when the cable company had a franchise with the city. And Jerry was always very kind and helpful when our
Jerry
negotiations.
Bittner's good people too,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I
Served
remember
our-
when he first
served our
moved
city
in.
very.
He's a wealth of knowledge. For
Yes.
those two, you get to that point, it's not just the amount of service that they've done, but it's the challenge of having to meet the needs of 70,000 people every single day. And
Right.
so a lot of those times you get issues that come up that you're torn on and that you're doing the right thing, but the right thing may not be the thing you want to do in your heart. And you got to respect that from council members. Being able to serve in that capacity and step up, it's beyond impressive. I am excited that we have 8 individuals running
Yes.
for these 4 seats. So hopefully we'll have good conversation throughout the process, and maybe the forums will be really good. It would be nice to see more than 130 people show up to vote in a district.
Oh, yeah,
But,
absolutely.
but that is what it is. In a non-presidential year, you get what you get. So
Now, I'd like to be on the agenda for the first council meeting after the council takes office or when they take office. I got something to ask.
The election's in November, so do they take
December.
it?
take it
December.
in December.
You'll have to hurry, but I want to be on the agenda. Or you could make it happen now.
Before the agenda or before the election?
Yeah.
What would your topic be?
I want New Bridge Street, which is gorgeous down by the way. Thank you for that. That's where I was going next. Beautiful. I want Christmas lights across that street overhead one day. 1 year, just 1 year, just 1 year.
Yeah. As long as
Okay,
they're not
okay.
Christmas lights, as long as they're decorative lighting and not just Christmas lights, then I think we have some opportunities to do it. There's something about a downtown that's well lit, not just the poles on the side like Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. They're known for their lamp post. For us, it's being able to recreate that synergy. You talk about Mr. Bright and the mayor walking the beat downtown. We don't do that anymore. We do have motorcycle cops. We don't have any horses sitting out there either, Mayor, so you can't hop on those. But we do want that vibrant downtown. We're seeing an incredible amount of activity already with the building owners. It's shocking to see people that are this active already. The Bistro, I think it opened up last Friday. It's probably open. It should be open today. That's a new cafe
Really?
downtown.
I didn't know it had opened up.
Yeah, it's right there on the corner. I believe now I left out early on Friday to go to Chapel Hill, but they were soft opening on Friday, and then they should have a launch. I'm assuming it happened Monday. It could be fake news right now, but if they're open, I would just say
We'll find out.
every business is downtown. Go check them out.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's
We need a cafe down there.
it's really interesting. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
And there's a lot of things that happen around that corner, and you see people. Billy Sewell owns buildings down there. Jennifer Morton's been working on buildings.
Martin Aragona.
Don Walton has buildings. Martin Aragona has buildings. So there's a lot of building owners that understand the vitality of downtown and the
They do.
significance. Our goal is to have 3 areas where people congregate. Western is already incredible.
Yeah.
It's it's so amazing to see how Western has developed in such a short amount of time.
Oh, yes.
It's very impressive, and the vision from people to make that happen. Downtown, working on that now, as you said, a good team. Wally Hansen's working through his crew to get that project completed. And then the Uptown, which we've talked about before. This Uptown concept is going to be incredible, but that'll give us those 3 areas where people will congregate, get out of their houses, and go see other people, which is the South. You know, if you're not going to be on your front porch, you're going to be talking to somebody in an area, maybe not today when it's already 79, maybe it's going to be 96 and you might have skin issues, plus or minus there on the temperature there. But to get people out and about in a community like Jacksonville, where we are safer than some other communities, that's our challenge. That's our goal. That's something we're pushing for each and every day. So you got to create those spaces.
Okay. Infrastructure, always a key word when we're talking about cities, counties, states, whatever. There's always an issue with infrastructure that managers bring up because they're forward thinking, hopefully. If they ignore it, then we will have a problem with infrastructure. But planning for the future with the infrastructure that we have to make sure it doesn't suddenly crap out one day.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about, as I mentioned earlier, Wally Hansen. You know, his team looks at water, sewer, streets, sanitation. These are things that they're not under our control. They're things that we have an ability to have a positive impact on. So water capacity, really strong here in our community. Sanitation, very strong service for us. And then sanitary sewer, very strong service for us now. So we're constantly looking at the expansion, the areas we connect. We have a value here in Jacksonville and Onslow County in that not only do we have to do it on our own, we have Onwassa and we have the base. So once again, you have this 3-headed partnership that ensures all of our people, 215,000 in the county, plus or minus, all of our people have access to development opportunities. So if a housing development wants to come, if Jacksonville can't serve them directly now, we have time to work on our system while they tap into Onwassa or potentially tap into something that the base has, and then we have that interconnectivity. That shows resiliency and forward thinking, and that happened well before I got here. But that's something that Mr. Massey, our deputy city manager, has been working on for 17 plus years, making sure that we have that dialogue with these partners to be successful.
I must say I'm really, really, really impressed with the little industrial area right off of Gum Branch Road by Williamsburg. We've got the YMCA going up, and thank you for the city for your part in that. We've got the Amazon facility that's just about ready to bust open doors. I mean, that thing is going up fast. We have more businesses. I mean, Jacksonville has really brought in a lot of economic development.
That small industrial property there, it's called Project Frontier for us. That's the site. But it started out with our water treatment facility right there. And it just looks like it's this small building over here making millions of gallons of clean water a day, which we're thankful for that. But it's so interesting seeing how this deal with Amazon came about. Anthony Prinz is an assistant city manager for us and very talented in economic development. When this project came, some people said, well, we're not creating enough jobs to have that positive impact. We're not creating the type of jobs that you want to see in an area. This is a last mile facility where the items are going to come in every single morning, and then they're going to go out the last mile to our homes, and then they're going to start fresh again the next day. Their campus that they've built is incredible.
It is.
The parking lot is top notch.
Yes.
And think about how the council did this. The council is pure genius here. And this is why that partnership matters and why who you put in office always matters. They took the money so we used all grants to get the site ready. You know, back in the day it was called shovel ready. So you get the site ready. It's a hard concept to get your head around. You think every site's ready. It's not really ready. We got it ready. Then we sold it to Amazon. We took the profits from the Amazon sale. We bought the land behind the Amazon so we could expand that industrial park. And then we sold some acres right next to where they're doing their parking across the facility to other developers. So taxpayer dollars, zero taxpayer benefits, multiple millions of dollars.
It's impressive.
It's incredible. It's a beautiful process. And I'm telling you, if you don't have a council that understands this is what we're doing, that money's set aside. It didn't go
Investments,
somewhere else.
people, investment for the
Yes.
future.
It's critical. And this is something that the mayor says to us quite often is our people deserve nice things. And so to get nice things, you have to have the dollars or you have to have a means to barter and trade.
Mhm.
This is basically that barter and trade.
Right.
So not only do we have that acreage, that business, you're going to have 80 to 100 drivers working there. You're going to have 40 to 60 people working in the facility as they're sorting and doing. And then you're going to have the other drivers that come here as a destination. And then maybe they stop at one of these local restaurants to get some food and then they go back out of town. And the infrastructure is really strong there. So the signal lights, the area around YMCA, it's such an awesome area to see develop now.
Right.
And think about it. You're on that end of Gum Branch and Western. That's where the Uptown's going to
Yes,
be. So
yes.
Biscuitville looks like Pure Genius is located there.
Love me some Biscuitville.
But you think about everything that's happening there with Lowe's Foods and Biscuitville and the houses and River of Life. There's so much. Again, it's synergy. You look at things that don't work and you go, man, you hate it for them, like Moore's Barbecue. You hate it for that location because it's going to have utility. It just has to take time.
I was so saddened to see Moore's closed down.
Yeah, local economies are tricky. We all get it. If you don't spend your money at every single business, then that business is not going to make that
I was really
profit.
sad to see that happen.
But I think there's a lot of value in this area, location kind of thing.
I like it. I like it.
Well, we have a question from a listener, sir, and he wants me to ask you. If this is a reference to downtown Court Street. He says he now has 6,000 members on his page on social media, and he says that he believes there's a real interest in this part of Jacksonville, and he wants to know, why doesn't the city of Jacksonville have an annual downtown Court Street reunion to be sponsored by the city of Jacksonville like they used to have in 2017 and 2019? Usually, the last couple ones, it's been just a small group of people.
Yep.
Some sitting here at this table that have done this, raised the money and put this on. But, he's like, why can't the city kind of like maybe throw some type of downtown Court Street reunion bash yearly
Kind of underwrite it.
and underwrite it? Yes.
Well, the one thing we are doing back over, let's get to Newbridge Street, is we have set up for one citizen called it a birthday celebration, but it's a Rock the Block. And so kicking off Newbridge, the new party annually is going to be called Rock the Block. So in September of this year, we're going to have a Newbridge Street celebration. So it'll be our first revitalized downtown celebration. I would encourage them from Court Street, because Court Street's part of downtown as well.
Right.
Remember, we've defined downtown as the Starbucks over on Cheney, over to the landing area, and then all the way back to the Memorial Gardens. That's our downtown triangle.
Right.
So everything there is part of the plan. So this Rock the Block is a way for us. We're going to have a concert down there. We're using our new stage. We're bringing out the vendors. We're bringing out food trucks. We're letting the businesses are hopefully open so they have everybody there. The next step is to be able to go all the way down Newbridge, get to Court Street and bring it in. So maybe that's a great plan. After this Rock the Block, we go ahead and go with a Court Street plan and do another. And then the third could be bringing the two together. So
right.
The traditional downtown from yesteryear being Court Street and the surrounding streets, that was the center. That was it. I mean, that was it. That was downtown. And there was a big music venue there that a lot of people are not quite familiar with because it's gone. With the clubs and whatever.
Birdie.
Everybody from Charlie Daniels to whoever showed up there. In the early
we can't
days.
bring Charlie back,
No,
but
can't do it.
we can bring some other people.
But there are some people out there, and the Court Street Reunion Group did round up some folks from yesteryear who had played in the area, and they came down and performed. So, there are some possibilities to get some kind of a music venue. I mean, lots of towns have a music venue at nighttime or weekends or during the day or whatever.
Like we
Morehead
used to
City,
have.
Wilmington.
At Riverwalk, downtown Alive.
I was going to say
Yeah, we used to
downtown
have
Alive.
that every summer.
Down at the train depot.
I
That
think
was just
Rosie Jones was very
Yeah.
involved in that at the
with
time.
Bold.
Part of Bold.
bold.
Yeah,
And,
Bold. Better our local downtown.
and that was was so wonderful on Friday nights. You just go down there, you sit, there's lawn chairs, you have some vendors down there. I miss
Activities
that.
and music. There was always a
Little things
band.
like that. So,
Yeah.
but anyway.
Right.
That Rock the Block September 26th, by the way. So,
Okay.
so
We're
pass
gonna
the
Put it on the
information
calendar.
back.
We got to get that down.
We're going to get
I've
that
got
in
it all.
there.
I've already got the song for it. Rock the block, don't rock the block, baby. Rock the
Oh
block.
my gosh.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope we don't play that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have
I do
talent
better.
coming in. So let me tell you, back to your
Ouch.
comment.
Ouch.
I'm not singing on air either. Back to your comment, though. The Tourism Development Association has decided to up the game. So when you talk about these venues, they're looking to bring talent in for our concerts.
Okay.
So we already have our recreation team that bring in multiple concerts over the last 2 years. We're using our amphitheater over at the Commons. We want to use something downtown. That's why we have that mobile stage that the TDA purchased. TDA is trying to raise the ante and start bringing in the names that you're
Right.
seeing coming to Wilmington, coming to New Bern. And I think you're going to have that. You're going to have that consistency. So if an artist comes to the region, we're going to try and scoop them up.
Sure.
So if they're having a Saturday concert, we're going to try and pick them up for Friday or Thursday. And we've seen this.
They get a little extra bonus money and it doesn't cost you as much.
That's right. The travel distance is so
that's
much
it.
less. And if we can hook them up and bring them here, if you've got a spare room, we'll bring in ACDC and let them crash at your house, whatever that may be.
Hey.
I know it sounds like a pretty good deal, right?
Hey,
Right. Yes.
quick question,
I've got a
Joshua.
couple extra bedrooms. Go ahead.
That kind of
That'd be-
lonely.
Couple of
Too
them
old
right
for
there.
you.
So National Night Out, which is next month, has been moved to the Commons from downtown. Is it because it just got too big for downtown?
There's a lot of flexibility for what we're trying to do this year with National Night Out. One thing is moving the date so that it's not as hot. And that's part of it.
September,
Not
It's
as
such a,
likely to get canceled.
yeah, it's
October. Yeah.
You're a
It's-
month ahead, but
it's
hey,
so
I'm with you.
challenging with National Night Out in different parts of the country. I mean, we've worked in 6 cities in this country. So it's challenging to try and be on that date because different areas have challenges. So Chief Phelps has decided to give Lieutenant Silence the opportunity to run this process. One of the things that we saw was creating a larger space where we have been better at creating events. And so they're going to go over to the Commons this year. We're going to try it out.
Nice.
Hopefully it works out. The challenge is you have kids in school now, so then there's different kind of challenges. But hopefully we'll get the same turnout. I love the Riverwalk area. Riverwalk and the people that have worked on that area for the last 100 years, pure genius. Great
Yes.
space. It has that utility that I've been talking about. It has a lot of value. So it's hard to pull something out, but we want to make the space user friendly and as user friendly as possible. We ran out of we had limitations on the number of spots we could have. Last year there was over 40 people that wanted to have a vendor space that couldn't locate there. Hopefully in the Commons they're going to be able to have that. Plus the bus route runs, it's real efficient
I like it.
running
I
into
like
the
it.
Commons. So
Well,
just encourage you to be there because I think that National Night Out is our top event. You think
Yes.
about it at its height, it's over 10,000 people in this community, and that's bigger than a lot of events that you see throughout. I guess Kinston has the Barbecue Festival, which has a higher turnout, but it has a lot more history than National Night Out. It's very exciting.
Well, let's get to the meat and bones of your visit today. Jacksonville has won an award as being an All-American City.
That's correct.
And thank you, first of all, for City of Jacksonville, for you, for everyone there in the council that has played a part in getting us, getting to where we are now, and with receiving the award. Because I think the last one was 1992. Did we say?
1992, when the Dream Team
1992.
went out, so did Mr. Bittner,
Yes.
and then that's how they won the All-American City in
I think
1992.
Doris Downs was part of that. Jerry Bittner, Rosie Jones, some of the
Glenn
ones. Glenn Hargett, yeah, that were, and oh, I know her name and I can't think of it right now. But anyway, she was very instrumental with the Beirut Memorial trees and et cetera. She was with Bold, but anyway, I'll think of her in a little bit. But tell us about this award and how we came apart about receiving it.
So the National Civic League created the All-America City Award to recognize the efforts of local governments across the country to just achieve success based on a problem. So this is where it's been historically. So back in the day, I was driving I-40 going from Waynesville to Chapel Hill, and I'm driving I-40, and you keep passing by Statesville, and you see Statesville's an All-America City. And I kept seeing it, and I thought, and this is well before I started my career in local government, I'm like, what makes them All-America City, and what's the value there? Even though I never knew the answer, because the internet was just kicking off about that time, even though I didn't know the answer, I knew they were special for something. So years later, when I started in local government, I started to learn what the National Civic League does and why they recognize these communities. So when we get here to Jacksonville last year, I see we're an All-America city in 1992. Mr. Bittner explained the story and the process before a few years to be recognized effectively. So we went last year and we presented our story, and we had basically community partners and a lot of the talents and the things that we do. But we had so many things that we were presenting last year. We didn't come home with the win. We were a finalist. This year, they announced that the award is going to be based on environmental stewardship and your ability to carry that message. And so when I arrived in Jacksonville, Mr. Massey and I talked about our story for cleaning up the New River and how that's unique and no one else has really done a story like this. And it's not just cleaning up the New River, it's the longevity of making sure that we create stewards of the environment. So the interesting part is we came back last year and they announced next year's competition, and Mr. Warden said, well, looks like we got to go next year. And I was like, oh, come on, man. Like, this is a difficult process. It takes a while to get ready. You got to pull the team together. But you're right. This story of environmental stewardship is something that we've done better than anybody in the country. So ours is simple. And so for Mr. Massey and I, we've talked about for 3 years how we have to tell our story. This gave us a national platform to tell the story. So the best part was assembling a totally different team to take to Denver to tell this story about how we're doing it. So Lisa Miller and Pat Donovan Brandenburg, they put together our application. We worked together. We reviewed it. We sent it in. We were selected as a finalist. Insert Glenn Hargett. Glenn took the application and his experience, because he was there in 1992, as you called out.
Mm-hmm.
He put that experience into a script, and then we had to work that script with a group of 19 people. The craziest thing ever, if it wasn't for Glenn Hargett, we would have just said we're not going. Glenn's true talents came out in this process, something that I've not been able to see because we don't work together a lot. And so seeing Glenn do this process, you felt like Batman and Superman taking an incredible team to Denver and just kicking butt and taking names.
So
That's when
the AAC social media contestant. We had somebody here.
So
Was a finalist,
A finalist.
right?
yeah, the city was selected as a finalist on that process.
Right.
Now, this is just an add-on on the side of how that happens. So it's not, they don't look long-term for how effectively you're getting information out. They do it for a period of time.
Right.
And so what happens is once you're selected, they're only measuring from that point in time until the end of the conference. So what they're really looking at is how effectively you stay active during the conference weekend to get to that point. And so Lisa Miller and her team they're pushing out information. They're trying to do that. We weren't selected for that nomination, but finalists there, and then one of our youth was selected as a finalist as well. So you just see the ability. The cool thing for our group is we almost half of our group were what I would call youth, under 21. And they got a kick out of, there was the old folk like us, and then there was the young folk like them, and they go from, I know, it's a great process. I wasn't born in 1964, so there's the middle ground. But remember, to the young folk, everybody else is old, especially this version. So the value there was the stewardship of how we're handing off that message to future stewards of the river and of our community. So it's not just about our Tree City USA designation. It's not just about cleaning up the river and being able to fish. It's about Sturgeon City. It's about New River Institutes. It's about the Teen Council. All these entities working together. It's about, we took the Jacksonville High School student body president. She was with us. She's now been class president for all 4 years of her high school.
Wow.
For her class.
I don't remember that happening.
Nice.
I don't think it does happen. So you have these things where you take this team and then you're presenting. And like I said last year, other smaller communities, even Seattle, Denver, Albuquerque, larger, they can't talk about the projects they do in comparison to us because we're doing so much in our little community. It's impressive beyond belief for me every single day to go in and know that our teams are across the board doing these things. So when we get to Denver to present the story, we're like, hey, we've got the best story.
Did you go?
Oh, I went. Yeah, I couldn't let them go without me. Mr. Bittner has his win. Mr. Massey had his win when he was down in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Right.
And I knew this community was a winner. The good news is no matter what the message is next year, we can take the year off. We don't need to go tell our story next year because it is a lot of work. And without Glenn, it just wouldn't have happened.
Oh, he's been a staunch part of this community since birth.
While driving around Lost this morning, I was going to call Glenn and say, okay, again, tell me where I'm going. And are you dressed? Do you have your blazer on? Why don't you just go with me? And I'll walk. I know. I'll walk in, and then you tell the real story, and then I'll just go back to work.
I talked to him a while back about coming on the show and just doing the history of Onslow County, Jacksonville.
I know his sister too.
And I think at the time, I know
his
Gail
dad,
and
too.
Glenn.
His dad was a great guy.
We all went to church together back in the day when I went to church. This was growing up. Yeah, we were in youth fellowship together. So I got to know the Hergets. Great people.
Glenn and I haven't had a lot of time to work together in the time I've been here. He's now partnering with the TDA on a number of projects.
Oh.
And so when we're pulling this together, I didn't feel bad asking him because he does have another side job that he's doing because that's what he does is 1,000 side gigs.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be all over the place. But this gave us an opportunity to plan together, to navigate a team together, and then to travel together, which was a blessing because I didn't know if Glenn was going to saddle up and say, let's go out west or not. But he said, let's do it. And so you're moving this team from a bus to the airport into some crazy taxis and then to the hotel and from one event to the next event because you had to present your story over and over again in different sectors.
Right.
And our kids really drove home the message. If you watch the questions at the end of the video, the answers that we gave prove that we didn't just place some kids there just to get votes. They were there because of their leadership. They answered all those on their own.
They had messages to deliver.
They were solid.
It's like that.
Yeah, it's so good to see Youth Council, Sturgeon City, New River Institutes. These kids are all active in those areas. And then the three littles, as I call them, that would be the under 13 group. Those three were phenomenal. That last scene from our presentation is Rocky Carter taking his fishing hat and his fishing pole and handing that over to Kinsley Ashton Ray and saying, this is the symbolism. I'm passing my knowledge, my experience, my ability to fish the New River to you, 12-year-old girl in middle school. Now run with it. And then they all say,
so cool.
We accept the responsibility as stewards of the New River. If we had a mic at that point, drop it, walk off the stage, don't even ask questions. When they did that, it still gave my right arm a little bit of a chill. But I wouldn't miss that opportunity for the world.
Was any of this videotaped?
Yeah.
Oh, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So when you go to their Facebook, if you go to the All-America City and then to the National Civic League, the whole video is on there. Tonight at City Council, Mr. Bittner asked that we play the whole video. So the best part about tonight is our one city, we never tell anybody.
I will share the video. I will share the meeting tonight
please.
on our Facebook.
It's really cool too because the start of this is classic. Mayor Phillips we could run a video behind us before we started. So behind us are two big screens. Mayor Phillips pops up on the screen. He's got the New River behind him. He gives 30 seconds to say, this is our story. And it rolls right into the Sturgeon City video, black and white, where you hear Charles Effort's voice.
Right.
And Charles ends it with, the river was dead. I wish I had that voice. God, if he was here too, he could say that. Oh, he says it so good. And then he goes, and then we go right into Jacksonville High School student body president. She starts her message going back to the 1940s. And so when you see it, it's a made-for-TV type of setup that if we don't have people calling us to do this movie, then they're missing out.
I'll tell you back at the, what was at the time, the K&R Marina, which was taken over. The city bought it, and now you got some docking slips there, which is cool because things progressed. But I dove under boats there in the 1960s. Do you understand? To do some repairs on props and stuff. To clean myself up, after I got out, I had bottles of rubbing alcohol. I got out of the water and immediately scrubbed down with alcohol. That's the filth of the New River in the 1960s. Been there, up close and personal. The things that were floating by were not fish. Okay? Today, I have no problem with that river.
Would you swim in the river?
Absolutely. I have
Yeah.
swum in that river, downriver from
Yeah.
a little bit, but I ain't got no problem. I've been
It
in that
has.
river
It has
since then.
cleaned up.
Well, think
Wow.
about it now. The triathlon
Oh, yeah,
is in the
absolutely.
river every year, and I'm more worried about the alligator eating somebody than I am about the
The
rivers.
gators in those days would not come into New River because this far up river was polluted.
Well,
They
you
did not-
have sharks in the ocean, so you know.
Speaking of Glenn has an alligator that likes to
Yes.
visit his backyard.
I've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
I've seen
It's a
the
good
pictures.
size.
Yes.
I got pictures of the alligator on the docks down at Tideline Marine.
You know what's really
On the
impressive?
docks.
The only way to clean up
With
the
the
New
dock.
River was to remove the wastewater treatment plant from that location.
That's
Yeah.
step one.
And that's what people don't understand. This is, think about, you're talking about $100 million investment to effectively change the way you treat wastewater.
Mhm.
And it wasn't because the city was just releasing waste into the river. It's because the levels at which the city had to meet, although they meet state and federal levels, they were still killing the river.
Yes, they were.
And so almost every community in this country releases wastewater into the river. Whatever stream they
Treated
have,
wastewater.
treated wastewater,
Yeah.
which is typically cleaner than the water that they're making.
But that wasn't saying much for New River.
Not here, because the way that the things were impacting us is it wasn't the hog spill that really set us off. That was just the final straw. The waste that came out of there. It was years and years of putting the treated wastewater back into the river, and it just kills the natural environment of the river. So that's what you're talking about when you're in it.
Folks don't understand upriver here. You talk about tidal changes and tide flows, a couple times a day, right?
Right.
There is no tidal change upriver. What changes the river, the depth of the river up here? Rain. And the wind. If you've got a strong wind blowing from the north, all that water comes down from the north, and guess what's up north? All that crap and whatever the debris that's in the river, streams, and way up yonder, all the way to the hog lagoons, that will blow down. If the wind is blowing then the water is lower in the river down here. When the wind blows from the south, I've spent a lot of time on that river and under that river. The wind blows from the south, from the ocean. It brings in good, clean, salty water up here. That's the reason you can catch speckled trout downtown Jacksonville, and you can catch big mouth bass right beside them. That's the reason.
Yeah, I haven't caught those yet. I don't know where those are at when I'm fishing, but it's not working.
I can
Well, don't go with river then.
Well, let me tell you. So that land application site that we now have, when you talked about the capacity, the land application site is expandable. It is, we treat our waste, we spray it on a field of trees, we grow those trees, then we go out and we harvest those trees, and it's part of an industry, and then we wash, rinse, repeat. And so we're not putting anything back into a river, but if you think about a place where you live downstream, everybody's taking someone else's quote unquote
Stuff.
waste. It's how it happens. And then I take yours and I treat it, and then I put it back in, and then you take mine and you treat it, and then you send it to you, and you get the end of all of us. That's the way it happens. I think about Florida that way.
Yeah.
Or the Mississippi. Think about how many people go in and out of the
Right.
Mississippi, and you just say, man, when you get down to, is the mouth of the Mississippi in New Orleans?
Nolans.
There you go.
When you get down to Nolans, you got an issue.
Totally explainable.
Everybody's a
There you go.
Everybody from the north.
Stinky Nolans.
So these are all parts of the things that it took for us to be recognized at that level. It wasn't
Right.
just we did one thing. It wasn't just we had Sturgeon City, which is now 25 years, celebrating their 25. The New River Institute's 25 years. It was, the country's got a kind of a big birthday coming up, but these are all parts of how the country was formed and existed now, and we're doing the same thing. So we're celebrating something that's been going on that long. All that culminated into one big, awesome win and recognition for us. So now you see 1992, 2025. So my point is, we're the same as Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. We're the dream team every year here in Jacksonville, and that's 72,000 strong. Makes up one heck of a dream team.
What's cool is you get to compete with yourself. What we did last year, we're going to do better next year. I like that competition is good.
It's phenomenal.
Well,
Because you're not having to start from scratch.
Was the award presented while you were
It
there?
was. So it's really stressful. So there's 20 communities that are selected as finalists out of however many they had again this year. And so in no order, they call out 10 winners. There's 10 All-America City every year that get selected. And
this is across the nation,
this is across the entire country. So like I said, this year, Seattle was there, Albuquerque, Denver was there. Denver was in their home city. So you have all these larger cities. You have some smaller cities. But this year, number 8, which happens to be Andre Dawson's number when he played for the Cubs. Fantastic number. Favorite player. Yeah. So this year, at number 8, the stress was gone, and they called City of Jacksonville, and we were able to go up and accept our recognition for
They knew what
72,000.
state we were in, right?
They knew it.
Did you have to explain it to a lot of people?
We came into the organization, or came into the room singing
Oh gosh.
Sweet Caroline.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
wow.
And we left singing
Gosh.
Sweet Caroline because it's something about just giving that sound.
Staging, you're good.
So
That
they
was
knew.
good.
Well, we figured these things out dramatically throughout the process.
Mm-hmm.
We were a little bland, and then we had to, and then people wanted to say more, but we still only had 10 minutes, and then so Glenn had to listen to people and try and work their comments in. And
He's great at that.
it was beyond incredible. I can never explain the level of effort that Glenn Hargett put into this to make it successful. But all I'm going to do is keep telling this story for the rest of my life so someone understands Glenn's value. If you didn't know it before, I can tell you, it's incredible.
We need a whole show just Glenn.
You really do.
They're nominated for a key to the city too.
I just give it to him. I got
That's what I mean.
I got a truck key right now. It's a 2011 Ford, so it's probably not that valuable, but I give it to Glenn.
Does it run?
We need to give him the long leaf
It's in
pine
the
award.
driveway right now. I'll take it.
Quick
What about the
question.
long leaf pine award? Let's put it
Quick
in.
question, Josh. There were 3 cities in North Carolina that got All-American City, so there's only 10 winners, right?
And 3 of us from
And
North
3
Carolina.
Wow. How about that?
Beyond impressive.
Carrboro, Kinston, and
In
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. And so how it played out, the 3rd community was Kinston,
Right.
the 5th was Carrboro, and at that point, Glenn's sitting in the row in front of me, and he turns and he just looks. And now Glenn, being very detailed, had a score sheet.
I'm sure he did.
Glenn made it to every presentation. He went to every one, and he scored everybody. So he had a list of these are A1. That means they're getting it no matter what. These are A2. They're getting it. The Bs were, oh, wow, if that one gets it, then maybe it impacts A1 and A2. So every time they named somebody, we knew Glenn was doing it, so everybody leaned over his shoulder and checked the score sheet. And he's like, yeah, I knew they were in. Remember, I told you they were
We need
in.
to take him to Las Vegas.
I'm telling you what, there's got to be some kind of odds here, Rain Man type that he's figuring it out. But so anyway, so when they called out Kinston first, we're like, okay,
That's what I was going to ask.
North Carolina, do we only get whatever? And then they called out Carbo, and we're going, mother of pearl. And so after going through 10 of these names last year and not here in Jacksonville, just the stress of the team deserved a win. And so this year we knew our story was better than anybody's. We really did. It was by far. And when you talk to the group after, the judges and the team that works there, we gave a heck of a delivery, and our message was spot on, and what we've done is amazing. So
Excellent.
we felt good. So we were the 3rd. So when we did our acceptance, we called out Kinston and Carrboro as our partners, as North Carolina
Nice.
representing. It's a big deal for us to be able, and in our region, that's a big deal. I mean, think about it. Carrboro's just
If
down
we
the
got
street, too.
30% of the award,
I was just
for the
gonna say,
entire
3 out of
freaking
10.
country,
Governor Josh Stein has got to be very proud. And when he sent those letters to the mayors, he sent 3 letters to the mayors, and he said, "Thank you for representing our state. It is our state. It's not
Right.
just Jacksonville showing out."
Mhm.
It's impressive. You know, the cool thing is too, and this is my last comment on the prep. We were prepared, and as a community, we're always prepared. When we got
always
there,
the way to be.
we had a schedule. We had events. Everybody knew their role. We had shirts that we wore every day. We knew what we were looking like. We showed up to stuff, and everybody knew we were Jacksonville no matter where we rolled to. Even if we were going down the street to eat as a team, we were doing it together. Some of these other communities, they were still doing final rehearsals. They were figuring out what they were going to say. They were like, "Hey, what is your line? I don't know, but let's write it real quick," which would have been fine for us
Pin.
because Glenn would have rewrote it.
Right.
But we had this system where we were prepared as we're always prepared.
Good.
You know, We're a military host city. It doesn't mean we operate as the Marine Corps does, but we take a lot of the things that they do as our own as they take things that we do. That's where that partnership.
Meticulous. You've got to be meticulous.
Sounds very, very, I think you took the word right out of my head. Yeah.
Tim McCurry, he works for the Marine Corps, and he's a retired Marine. He's in the G7 now with Mike Scalise. He went with us, so he was our rep from the base.
Nice.
We worked with the county and tried to bring them into the mix. We had Reverend Churchwell was with us.
Mhm.
Pamela Trafton is our youth council advisor. We had so many different members of the community that were part of the team. We didn't leave anybody out. And that's the beauty of it. Reverend Churchwell, one of his comments during our presentation, which I want you to hear it, but he says, when Jacksonville looks around the room, everybody's present. And that's our goal. Even if we fail, our goal is always to make sure that everybody has a voice, even if it's a dumb voice. Half the time, that's my comments, or they're just off the wall or something. At least I know there's a table, like you did this morning. You gave me a seat at the table and gave me a microphone to make comments. That didn't happen in other communities. It just doesn't happen. And people we talk about 8 candidates, you talk about 1 candidate. You know, if 8 candidates get an opportunity to have their voice somewhere in this community, even if they're at Jaggers today talking to people while they're eating burgers, good for them.
Mhm.
That's what we do. We want to hear people, whether you got a good opinion or a bad opinion, or if you're telling Glenn that your script's horrible and you should listen to me. Thank heavens he didn't listen and he stuck to his plan. That's a pure genius. You can tell he's worked in management
Great job.
multiple
Yeah.
times. So I appreciate
like
that
that.
opportunity just to share this story because
Yeah.
it does mean a lot to me.
I appreciate you sharing because you're saying things that I didn't know.
Right,
You
right.
know,
Really cool.
I didn't know how much went into this whole deal.
Yeah, it goes a lot into that concept of pulling it together. And, you know, in my office, you communicated with Pam. Pam has been with our city for over 30 years. And so this is something that when she watches the video, she's going to be there tonight. She gets emotional because she's been in this community.
I'm right there with you, Pam.
Pam's from Ohio, so they don't see a lot of good things happening
Right.
up in Ohio. You know, bless
Cleveland.
There's Cleveland, and there's Euclid, where my aunt lived. Bless her heart. What is Euclid? We're not going to go into that one. But anyway, so she sees this,
Misspelling.
and I don't know how to spell it. I just know I was there.
IT.
Thanksgiving at the Chinese restaurant one year. That's where I was at, Euclid. Hey, Mom, when you're listening, you know we were there.
Really?
We really did it. Yeah, we were traveling. We didn't get there in time, and my aunt, bless her heart, it just didn't happen. So we were there. But for Pam to see this is a moving experience because she's lived it for 30 plus years in our
Yes.
community.
Oh, yeah.
And so
That's
she
great.
knows. And so when she watched it, she's like, wow, y'all have nailed it. This is what it is. The people that mix into the group, Meredith Morgan, she was in she was in Sturgeon City Institutes. Now she's in Wilmington. She's a museum director. She traveled with us. She delivers a line at the end of her speech, and she says, and she's from Jacksonville. She says, my hometown, I'm proud of my hometown, and I carry that message with me everywhere I go.
Important.
Every time she said that in rehearsal, left leg just got chills when I said it again. I said it, and I wasn't even Meredith saying it. When she says it, she looks up at the camera, and you just go, wow, you have nailed it because she's Jacksonville. She doesn't have to be a Marine. She doesn't have to be someone that's been here her whole life, but she's from Jacksonville. She says, I carry that message of my hometown with me everywhere I go. Just like I carry Waynesville, North Carolina in my heart and soul every single day. Meredith carried Jacksonville, and she said that line. And I'm telling you, if you have a heartbeat as a judge, you looked at him and went, again, A1, Jacksonville. Yeah, it was.
Cool.
It's
Well,
a pretty cool
have
process.
y'all got any T-shirts for sale?
So we haven't yet. So I actually saw an email this morning that said, how do we market this? And so
I definitely want one.
we've yet to
absolutely.
start collecting the memorabilia to start doing things. So tonight at council, when we deliver this, the message to the community to say, here we go. We plan to have the banners. We plan to have downtown. These are going to have some cool banners that go up so people can really appreciate. And we're going to draw on 92 and 2025 because
Right.
2025 is no better than 92 and 92 is no better than 2025. So our signs are going to be, this is who we are. This is what we do. I was actually, Mr. John Carter came by, and every year that I've made it a year, he's brought me an anniversary gift with the city, and he gave me one early last week, and it was the pin from the 1992 All-American
Oh,
City.
that's cool.
I know, it was
that
super
is
cool.
so
Mr. Carter
cool.
has that level of, he understands. He has some sincerity and
You just said that.
appreciation.
I could see it right now. How did I have it taken in my head? 1992, 2025. We've still got it.
Yeah, amen to that.
From 1992 to 2025.
That's the tagline.
We've still got it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the magic is definitely here.
Mhm.
And I would go back to looking at the community and seeing the changes, but still knowing that the heartbeat is the same. The leadership, no matter who's in those roles, they carry that message heretofore. And that's why I go back to your election matters so much. You got to get people into office that understand what's valuable.
We got to get people to the polls. Number one, let's get people
Yes.
to the polls.
Like I said,
and
We don't want to see any ward with 150 votes only. We want to see something of value in every ward.
we're going to bring it back in here because that, one of these days we'll talk about some of the other things too, like the elections and like the wards and the districts and whatever, because there's some that feel like maybe it's time that we don't do the wards anymore, that everything is at large. There are people that feel that way because of Camp Lejeune for the most part, that everything's at large like it used to be. And
Someone I saw this morning when I was driving here lost, and I don't even know, I can't say I was driving here, right?
You've been here before.
I know, it's just sad that I couldn't figure it out again. But someone had a comment and said, is that why Jacksonville annexed the base?
Yes.
The base
Yes.
annexation is not about one thing or another.
no, it's not.
It's about serving the citizens that call this community home.
Right.
We serve, the 72,000 is just a population number. We serve over 100,000 people a day in and out of Jacksonville that don't live here.
It's the greater Jacksonville area.
It's the region.
Right.
We're not a metro like Atlanta would be.
Nope.
And you have all these
Thank
suburbs
goodness.
around it.
Thank
I agree,
goodness.
1,000%. But what we are is we are the hub that serves this industry. And so when we're annexing that land, we're trying to add value to every single taxpayer, not dilute the taxpayer, but you get credit statewide on revenues based on population. Right now, think about it. This is the number. We only receive ad valorem tax from 44% of our properties here in our community. That's not a downside because the base, the United States government, owns basically the other 56%.
Yeah, right.
But they bring incredible value
Send
to our
more tax
community.
bill.
No, they're doing enough. They're doing more than enough. Without those men and women, we wouldn't have all of these restaurants. We wouldn't have
Not
these free
even
sectors.
close to
We
it.
wouldn't even have any inkling of Western. It would still be forest land. It would be something crazy. But the point
Right.
being, that's where we start at. So we're starting at 28 million, where communities our size typically are going to have 60 and 70 million dollars of ad valorem tax every year that they build from. We got 28. 28 is 28. I don't care what the revaluation tells you next year, when we're probably going to have 25% increases. Are you ready for that? We should talk about that when we get those
We
numbers.
need to talk about some stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's a great story because our council is going to be looking at it and think about it. If the
Right.
city's looking at it, then the county looks at it. So,
Oh, yeah, the county's already put out a thing about
yeah.
20
So when you're looking at your property,
Mm-hmm.
it's in town, you got your city number, you got your county number. What are we going to do? This is what we got to do. But the point being, people need to understand what makes Jacksonville special. 550 municipalities in North Carolina. There's only 5 military host cities, and we're one of 5. And I would say we're the second because Fayetteville is the biggest. And then there's us. That's uniquely beautiful. And if you ask the Marines, we're never second to Fayetteville. We're the first.
Oh, absolutely.
So we lead the way.
First of all, we got to get
Fayetteville.
past the Marines to get to the Fayetteville, right? Period. Bottom line, that ain't going to happen.
That's right.
Yeah. So we have that responsibility to a region, and I'm glad you pointed. It's a regional responsibility.
It is a regional thing.
We work so well with the county. We work so well with the base. My interaction with David Smithman at the county, Mr. Massey works through the whole command staff of both the base, the region. Those are relationships that make us better each and every day. So when you see one place coming up, you see the YMCA. These are all value adds for us.
Mm-hmm.
United Way's working on some major projects right now. Onslow Community Outreach is working on some big projects. All these tie in together to making us that amazing community. And that's the only way it works, because if we were doing it on our own, I'd tell you, I don't care how great we think we are, we'd fail miserably.
Well, I love my city. Grew up here. It's a great city. I wouldn't want to go anywhere else. I love living here. Thank you for what all you do.
I chose to come back.
We've had such a fabulous mayor and city council over the years that have always put the people first, and it shows.
It does.
Yeah, it doesn't happen in a lot of communities.
Oh,
I
no,
can tell you.
no. Like I say,
No
I've
drama
never
with the
been
city.
anywhere as a journalist that I could not go
Right.
in and find some good, great investigative stories that I used to do. Yes, you may seem like dirty tricks, but we were trying to keep people honest. And some councils and people are just not always honest with the public's money. You understand that?
Yeah, it's tricky.
You've been there, but I haven't found that here.
Yeah, it's a blessing to know that if you want to look, you're not going to find it. Our finance director, Sabrina Adams, has been with the city for a good while, but now she's finance director, been the finance director for about 3 years as well. And she's a rock. She's solid. She understands. She's worked through our system, so she knows our finance at every level. And there's a value to that as well. When you talk about homegrown talent, she's one of those people. And I'd put her up against any finance director that I've ever worked alongside or that I've known of ever in 22 years in this business. She's so sharp and she puts time into it. To her fault, the only thing she needs to work on is putting less time into it because people don't understand that this is what we do. It's not who we are. You know, as public servants, that's part of who we are, but the job is what we do.
Sometimes it's a passion, though. Whatever you do, if you do it well, it's a passion. It becomes a passion.
Yeah.
And it's hard to walk away from passions.
It is.
No matter if it's 7 o'clock at night, you
No,
still got to turn it
absolutely
off
not.
at some point. So.
But you need to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to, because you got to reset. You got to give yourself that downtime to recover so that you can make sure you're performing at the highest level every single day. Whether it's, we welcome new people to our team every Monday. We have new employee orientation on Mondays.
Oh, cool.
And a lot of that's because of, some of it's retirements, but most of it's because of transitional community. When Marines leave, people leave with them. It's this crazy concept. I know you know it. And so we have that turnover. So yesterday we had 3 new team members. Every Monday, the beauty of telling them when they come on board is we get better as an organization because we bring new talent on every single Monday. These people bring their life experiences, skills, education, and knowledge with them. And because of them, we know we're getting better week by week. So you don't have that Monday concept of, oh my gosh, it's Monday. I'm slept rock. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, that's us every Monday morning.
That's every day.
They give you energy. They give you that energy that says, this morning I woke up and I'm like, hey, I'm headed over to the radio show. Then it hit me after the shower that I don't know where I'm going. But other than that, mentally, I knew we were sharing a message that was part of the passion of what I believe in, what our family believes in, what the city team believes in. And like you said, the leadership's so strong
It is
that you either keep going in that right direction or the mayor and the council will say, we're putting somebody else in the driver's seat because we're going to go this way with or without you. And I just choose to want to hang out with them a little bit longer.
A real quick question. I know that we also have to give thanks to the people who live in the city for helping to make it such a great city. Now, we have a lot of, within the Jacksonville government, we have a lot of committees that people can actually apply to be a part of. How do they go about doing that?
So anytime you want to be a member on one of our boards, commissions, or committees, you just contact Rose Marshburn. She's the city clerk. She'll get you the application, and then when there's a spot open, she takes those applications. She'll give you a call and say, hey, look, I've got a spot open on environmental appearance or the water and sewer utility board or. And if you're still interested, they'll get that over to the liaison. There's a council liaison to every board. They'll look and review the applications. They'll make a recommendation working with the chair of that committee, board, or commission to the city council, and you'll be considered that way. So I encourage everybody. We're trying to look at how we move people around so that you have new people coming in. You go through this ebb and flow of sometimes people want to be involved, sometimes they don't. For example, I was at Rotary the other day having lunch as a guest, and Reva Sullivan said, when are you going to join our club? And I said, I'm getting barbecue and some slaw. And I said, I'm not going to join your club. I'm not going to join Rotary at all. And she said, well, why is that? And I've given this answer consistently over time because my work and my kids take up all of my time, and I don't have time to put to another area. And she said, if every citizen thought like you did, then we wouldn't have civic organizations. And I said, thank heavens in America, no one else thinks like I do. I am an original.
Yeah.
So
You go, Reva. You go, girl.
But she's doing great because
Yes,
she's
she
out there
is.
driving people into these organizations to do something for the greater good.
She's always been very driven
And
when
there's
it
such a
comes to
value.
Jacksonville.
So we need people to
Yes.
serve on our boards and committees because we need, just like our new hires, we need new thoughts, new energy, more excitement. And then we need to be challenged to say, what are we doing in these areas? Because there's a lot of areas that we miss. You talked about infrastructure earlier. The streets are such a challenge right now because when you get a ton of rain, every crack turns into a pothole.
Yes.
Someone sent us an email this morning at 5 o'clock that said, hey, tell me what we're doing on Doris Avenue again. Well, Doris is kind of tricky because Doris is not the surface. Oh, I live down the street. I drive it every day. Doris is not the surface. It's the water main underneath
Right.
it. That's where the problem is. And we've resurfaced Doris enough times to know
Oh, yes.
it's the water main.
Oh, yeah.
And so the last time I was here, I made this comment. We've changed our system to say that we don't just resurface streets, we redo everything underneath, water, sewer, stormwater, before we do that resurfacing. We don't just do a patch because like Doris, it's going to be wasted money.
And they got still some of those old clay pipes for sewer. And those clay pipes, you know what happens with clay pipes? Limbs, roots
Yeah.
grow through them.
And then it just
they get
collapses.
It collapses and it clogs up. And it
Yeah, so
rotor, here we go again.
this plan is so much more effective and efficient by going through and saying we have to do it. Because if you're looking at lines that are 60, 70, 80 years old, you need to replace them. So our replacement schedule is a little longer. So when I get back to the office and I respond back to this individual to tell them we have a plan. I know it's not what you want to see because I hate driving on Doris in some of these areas too. But with these rains, more areas have been uncovered because every crack turns into a pothole. So thank heavens the truck has 2 axles still. I mean, you try and drive around them. It's what it is. But when you look at other communities, a lot of people like to compare to other communities. If you're driving any other town, they have the same roads. They have the same dollar restriction to make roads better. It doesn't matter if you're going around the Beltline of Raleigh or if you're driving through Carborough. These streets are all very similar. They have challenges.
Sometimes you have to put out the immediate fires before you can start working on the future.
Yeah.
And trying to balance those two is hard. We know what the immediate fire is because it's that pothole sitting
right.
there and whatever else. But there's stuff underlying all over the city.
Think about Newbridge Street. That project's very short, but it's a
Yes.
2-year project
Yeah.
because of
Yes.
everything that's underground.
Yeah.
When you unearth old fuel and gas tanks underneath there, you have to remove those completely. Then you have to backfill. Then you have to make sure that you're engineering the soil so that the road doesn't collapse in the future. When you're taking the old sidewalk out and a building is resting on the old sidewalk, like what do you do? Thank heavens you have engineers and architects and talented teams to go fix that project. So
I understand that one too.
and that's a great example. If we were to tell people, hey, we're going to fix Doris, but it's going to take us 2 years, holy cow, Batman.
I try to avoid Doris. I go around the other way.
That's the
Just
beauty.
like,
As long as you don't live on those areas, you can
Right.
get around Doris
Yes.
to those to those spots. And we deal with that because a lot of times there are some repairs going on.
Well, I'm in Northwoods too, but I come in the Gumbranch way.
Mine was
So-
Henderson and Doris.
Yes.
That's what we lived.
Yeah, you were right.
I
You
had
were
to hit
right
some
at the
part, too.
heart of it, right? In fact, I just came down Doris the other day, and I was just looking around, and nothing much has really changed except for the library. Nobody goes to the library anymore.
Well, you know, the county's got a good plan for the
Yes.
library right now, and I hope they're able to bring it to fruition. You know, they have a lot of good plans right now with their team, and so they're trying to maximize that space that was going to be their county offices right there downtown behind City Hall. But now they're saying they want to put that into a library facility, a cultural center, and tie in some
Ooh.
retail with some upper level residential.
Nice.
That's what I went to Rotary because David Smitherman was giving his report at Rotary.
Nice.
So I went to listen and to heckle. But it's a heck of a building. It's like everything else, though. It's going to take a couple years to get the planning through, and then it's going to be stupid expensive. So they have to figure out what the revenue stream is to help them make that happen.
Very nice. Great job.
Parking.
Great job.
Got a
Lisa.
great plan. You know, we're working with Rotary right now downtown to utilize their parking lot as open downtown parking. So if you're going to any of these new businesses, Rotary said, well, maybe we could partner with the city to make that public parking. That'd be great.
Nice.
Our goal, instead of saying, hey, we're going to try and build some $50 million parking deck, our goal is to find parking areas around downtown strategically instead of one central location. So if the county can do that facility, they'll have parking in there as well.
Oh, that would be a blessing.
We'll have multiple spaces, and that's the partnership with the county, right?
Yes.
We're thinking the same. We're trying to do things together. If they do something better than us, we're listening. If we do something more effectively than them, they're listening. There's good partnership, cooperation, and synergy there to try and achieve some goals that we have. So anyway, I just think that library facility then could turn into something else for the county.
Well, Rayford, it's like the last time he was here. We could talk to him
We
all
absolutely. Now,
long.
when you get back and you see the chief at some point in time today, you're going to see him, right? Some point in time today?
Chief Phelps?
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, good. Tell him we're counting on him for the Dancing Stars because he's in it.
Oh
That's
my
right.
gosh, bless his heart.
And you got, yeah, I know. Don't tell him that.
I think
him how
Joshua
great it
needs
is.
to be
It's not gonna happen,
nominated
Reva.
for next year. Reva, I'll be calling you later.
We
We'll work up a
want to
plan.
see him do good things.
Oh man.
I've got to invite him to come in here too because we invite the dancers.
The beauty is you can tell him that Chief Tallman was on Dancing with the Stars and was pretty dang good. So now Chief Phelps and Chief Tallman are very competitive.
You know that Chief
Yanero.
Chief Yanero as well.
was on the first year
Well, and I'm not sure
Along
if Chief
with
Yanero did as good as Chief Tallman.
along with the mayor.
I've
along
heard
with
some
the
stories.
Senator and me.
Wow.
Okay,
That's a
Reva,
tough
I'll
year.
definitely be calling you later because this one over here talking a lot of, smack.
We do need to get the chief up.
Ah,
They need a cheering section for him.
Chief Phelps will be a hit, and I will be there to cheer for him from the way back rows. I'll even bring my whole family. Family of 5 were there for Chief Phelps because this guy,
I'm always there.
he's top notch. He's solid. I tell you, that he and Chief Tallman have a very strong relationship working together. And we had a worry when you transition from Chief Yanero out. How do you maintain that high level?
Right.
We've done good. We've got great people in those positions, and so for Mike, he didn't have to worry about that.
No, he did
you
not.
bring these people in, and then they carry that message. They bring with them their experiences, and we're rocking on those cylinders.
Okay.
Minus this whole
Now,
dancing thing.
Chief, sir, there's a major over at the sheriff's office that was in it last year.
Oh,
He's 6
Major
feet,
Scott.
48 inches tall or something like that. He's huge. But he dropped to the floor and he did the
he did the worm.
worm dance across the
Yeah.
deck. Okay.
That's next level, right there.
Chief
I
Phelps?
want to see the chief.
Well,
Come
I
on, Chief.
want Chief Phelps to have something original. Don't recreate it.
I want to see him do something not the same,
Yeah.
but at least as good.
I don't even know how this guy committed to this. I'm telling you. It was probably peer pressure.
I think
People
he-
like you have
I think
guilted him into doing it.
I don't think he knew what he was getting into, but it's too late now. You just have signed on the dotted line. You're in for life.
You just wait. We generally have all the dancers come on one at a time on the show. And there's a lot of smack talking. And I have a feeling with what you just said about Phelps, there's a certain dancer that
was next
is
door to me.
close by that
Oh my goodness.
it's going to be on between those
Oh,
two.
he's gonna get
Man.
down and dirty.
This is
Oh, it's
tough
gonna
right
be
here.
hard.
It just changed my whole perspective on him now. I'm going to call him when I get in the truck.
He needs to get on with the program here.
Now, how soon is this
It's
competition?
in October.
Oh my
But it
goodness.
takes 6 months of
Yeah.
practice
Yes.
because there's 2 dances.
I hope he's doing something right now. He needs
Well,
to take some time off and start dancing.
in the office if nothing else.
And I just recently,
Just by, did you ever see the Jailhouse Rock video with Elvis Presley
Oh yes.
where he was dancing with a broom?
Maybe I'll take him a broom
Yeah,
today.
you do that.
that
so
might
good.
send a different message. I don't know about that. But Rayford, I've already been in talks with someone about scheduling people on for the Dancing with the Stars. So we'll have Chief Phelps in
Oh,
here.
we will have him here.
Poor
Can't
guy.
wait,
He
yeah.
came here just to be a police chief.
Well,
He's a police officer. That's what he's done for 30 years now.
I
and
was
now
out there at his swearing in when he first took office, right?
Talk all you want. We're still
he,
going to put you in.
I didn't know anything about him, whatever, except the little that I do with whatever. Couldn't find anything bad about him, so I'd say he's going to be okay.
Rayford,
What?
why you keep looking up trying to find something bad about
I
someone?
don't. I
Chief
just
Yanero
want-
did the same thing.
I just want to make
He
sure.
drove up
Oh, I
there to do his
guarantee you.
research.
Guarantee you. That's the way we do things.
Yeah, those people think that
we
way.
make sure that everything's okay. But the cool thing was when he was getting his badge pinned on, his daughter pinned it on him. And he's stoic up there and everything. And she pinned it on him. He says, ouch. And she just jumped. I said, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. He's got a sense of humor.
Yeah, he does.
He has a lot of good personality.
He told some good stories when he came in that day.
I don't know how he's going to be on his feet, though. Just saying.
Why? Is there something wrong there?
I don't know. I've seen him run with the torch. I've seen him race. He does bicycle races. I know he's physically fit. I just don't know what his steps look like out there.
You just don't know if he's got that funk.
There's only one walking on water.
No, I
so-
did it. I was challenged by staff one time. What do you think? You think you can walk on water? And I said, absolutely. I went to the kitchen, there in the newsroom, tile floor, came back out, and I poured the
Right.
water on the floor, walked across. I said, maybe we had to mop and clean it out.
That's right. Maybe I'll take Chief Phelps
I
and
just
brew him
went
a mile.
on water. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
Joshua, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
It's always
Thanks
such a
for being
pleasure
here.
Time this
having you
morning.
in.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you coming in. Appreciate what you're doing, and we just need to
Great
do
job.
regular updates. Now that you know the
Yes.
way,
Just send an email.
drop some breadcrumbs back on your way back.
It'll be the same thing. The issue was I misspelled Marion.
And
and
then
so-
I'll take you to Sherwood Forest.
Now, the last time I sent you a detailed description.
Oh, thank heavens. That was
turn
good.
here, turn there.
Yeah, you should never
And this
devalue the
time-
detailed description.
Really?
This time Pam said, can I have the address to verify? I gave her the address and I said, now he's been here before, so I'm sure he'll know the way. But if you get lost, let me know.
My instinct was right. Just go past the golf course and turn left. I knew it.
Yep.
For some reason, on this Tuesday, I woke up questioning myself and I
I can't imagine that.
I can't imagine either. I
I
don't do
can't
that often.
imagine him, of all people,
I don't do that
questioning
often.
himself.
Marion is in Maid Marion, and then there's the other. I think that's the right. Well, and one of them is Maid Marion, and one's not. The IO is over in Sherwood Forest.
Yes.
That would be Maid Marion because that's Sherwood
No,
Forest.
he's
There you
past the confusion
No,
now.
no, I'm with you. And I was actually headed to Marion, North Carolina. That's
Oh
why
my
the
God.
spelling was
That would
wrong.
be really best.
See, so
Let's see you next week.
that's why I started early this morning, so that
Oh
I
my
could spend
gosh.
time driving around the city, as I do every morning. I drive sectors of the city. Just this
Next
morning,
time,
I drove more.
If you will study with this young lady and get your ham radio license, and you get your radio like this, I could direct you in on the way in.
It'd be so good if I carried a ham radio. God, that'd be the stuff.
All you got to do is take the test.
I
No, that's TV.
know it. But, we're talking with Joshua. I don't know if you've even had a CB radio. Did you ever have a CB radio?
I've had a CB radio, and I've gone to multiple ham radio events in
Oh,
multiple
there you
states.
go.
So when I saw that come out, I thought this is something's fun. Where you stay all night with this group of
Yes.
people that
4
loves
hours a
the
day. Yeah.
this ham radio experience, and it's part of their soul.
Yeah.
Apparently, like Rayford. And so I've seen it. I've lived it. It's just a different world.
You know that the chief last year at the field day event that we had a year ago, he took me aside. Is there anything you all can do? I know you got something set up at the county's EOC. And we do. He said, we operate an EOC here at PD, the police department, during an emergency.
Mhm.
We have our own control. And during Florence, contact was lost with the county because all the landlines were dead. Cell phones were not working after days. And we were not able to have as good a contact directly with EOC as we wanted. What can you do? So we now have a room upstairs at the PD,
Mhm.
right across from where the EOC will be set up, is set up. And thus we have a room over there, the hams there.
Yeah. Think about Helene. That was their issue in Western
Right.
North Carolina.
Thanks to Chief Tomlin, and they put up an antenna outside. There's a radio in there. Has to be licensed people to do it. That's only us. So we can go over there and unlock and go in, and we're in control again.
Yeah,
And
that's
thank-
And then we have
Right.
EOC is from here to there.
Well, our EOC center ended up taking calls for some of the towns in
Mhm.
Western North Carolina,
Yep.
taking
Yeah.
their 911 calls.
So we've shifted them over, and that's where
Yes.
people have to understand the value. You can save cell phones and modern technology all you want, but 800 megahertz radios
Right.
are the way to communicate. And when you couldn't get word into those communities, Asheville, Buncombe County, Black Mountain, every community that was impacted during Helene, they just didn't know why, because they never expected it. It's been 1916 when they had their last flood, and that,
Yeah.
again, that's home. And so as you're communicating back with these people to try and get them information, you're trying to figure out how it works. So now they understand.
That and our
Right.
team of hams also went over there and set up emergency communications, stayed for the duration.
And that's
And we
why-
could actually talk with them from here. I could do this, and they could relay through the towers, the
Right.
various towers repeaters.
That's why if I ever go to the mountains again, all right, I'll be licensed ham operator, and I can let Rayford know that I
She
survived.
was trapped
I
up
made
there.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
I tell you,
strapped in Boone.
the radio system has so much value, and that's why I say without the partners, without people that know how to do operations, we as a family have used our radios before in the Colorado Rockies in the
Right.
mountains before, and had to use them, and they were life saving, literally life saving. So there's a value there that people don't
There was a
understand.
tape of one tower going down to screw the whole
Yeah.
work up.
We all think
Right.
that these cell phones, no matter how many, if we carry 7 of these, that we have
Right.
coverage. But Helene was a good example. Florence was a good example. You name it, people have learned, and that's the
Mhm.
value of these teams now. When we go through these practice sessions for being prepared for the weather that's going to come. We know it's not if, we know it's when. Where Asheville, Buncombe, they didn't know that was coming. They wouldn't have imagined. And me being there too, I remember when Hugo came in when I was a kid, and we were so shocked how Hugo did so much devastation, and how Charlotte and Concord and those areas were so devastated, in Gastonia. And we were like, wow, how does it get in? You know, that doesn't make, I mean, again, I was a young buck. So that level of knowledge just wasn't there. But we know here it's a totally different world. And that's Chief Tallman. He has a level of knowledge and understanding.
He's a local.
It's high level.
Yeah.
And when Helene hit, he and Wally Hansen were the first to say, we're headed west.
They need help.
And so they pulled teams together. We set up a system. Council said that's what we do. So not only would we have emergency response just to our surrounding communities, we went to Black Mountain, we went to Brevard, we went to Asheville, we went to Buncombe, we went to Swannanoa. Wally had a team down here in on a coastline city. I forget which one we went to, a little town. But we were all over the place. We had police going. So we scheduled these things because we know people need help, and they may not have those connections, but we have the people to send them. So when you think about our 622 full-time people, our 154 part-time, we get it. Your taxpayer dollars are here, but it's also a one-state concept. So, yeah, they know where North Carolina's at. National Civic League knows North Carolina is a big state. It's not only growing, but it has a placeholder. If for nothing else, it's a purple state. So we matter in elections every year.
That's right.
So
We keep them confused.
You dang right.
That's the idea.
We're the state that has that votes red but brings in a blue governor. Doesn't matter how we look at it, right? There's only a couple of anomalies there. We're an enigma no matter how you look at it, and that's a beautiful thing to be.
We're gonna mess with your head.
Like Marion Place.
One last question. What time does the city meeting start tonight?
City council meeting start at 5:30, and so we're going to check with the mayor to see. We might do the presentation at the front end just because we have so many people trying to come and see it. But there's only a few items on the agenda. We are in the what I call the big boy and girl room, which is the council chambers tonight, because this is a formal meeting. In July, we only have one meeting,
Okay.
and so we only have the big meeting and then we have 3 planning items.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure we televise it.
But it's very exciting if you can get it on there, because even if you only watch the first 39 seconds, that's the mayor and that's Charles. That's their video. It's
Well,
beautiful.
Cam, I can sit at home and
Go
cry
ahead.
and cry in private.
Type it in the comments section.
You know, I get very
I'm not
emotional
crying.
too.
You're crying. Yeah, it'll be me too.
Okay.
We crying with you.
That's right.
Crying with
Thanks for
you.
the opportunity.
Thank you.
I
We
appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
stopping in.
It's always great.
Well, we done good, guys.
We did.
It's always so much
Yes, we
fun.
covered a lot of turf here, and that's the idea. And it's all not-
Wait a minute.
it's
You
not-
know your way home now, do you? You know your way home?
Just put it in reverse and back out the same way you came in.
Yeah. And he's always such a pleasure to have in the
He
studio
is,
because
and
he is so knowledgeable.
I like
and-
being able to have a conversation, folks. And, you know, if you thought you were going to get nothing but a bunch of facts and figures and nuts and bolts, no, that's
Mhm.
not what we do. We will uncover that as needed. Sometimes, especially when we get into tax season and all that sort of good stuff and property taxes, we're going to be talking about nuts and bolts,
Well,
the
Rayford,
dollars and cents.
Chris, we've been here for quite a long time,
Mhm.
and we grew up here in Jacksonville.
I never grew up.
We're graduates of
That's right.
Jacksonville High School. Looking back over the years, how much Jacksonville has grown.
Well,
and how far
20,000 population.
right?
Well, let me go back a little bit further than that before my time even. 700 population in 1970, or 1940, was it? I think it's 700 in the city. The water tower there on the opposite side from Elizabeth Street, you know where Elizabeth Street
Right,
is?
yeah.
There was a water
yes,
tower over there.
yes.
That's where the fire siren was. So
Oh.
when the
Yes, it
siren
was.
would go off, firefighters would come running because they had a very small fire department, but they had a lot of volunteers. I'm not in the city limits of Jacksonville. They would all come a running. They were here to fire whistle, and they didn't know where it was. They didn't have radios. They didn't have anything, but done. 700 population in 1940-ish when they started Lejeune. In about 1970, there was 20,000 population. The Jacksonville Police Department had a grand total of 20-ish sworn officers, including the chief. There was not a sworn female officer. There were no female cops.
Right.
Zero. The chief had a rule. You had to be, I think, 5'10" minimum. So that number one eliminated most.
Yeah.
And what he wanted people that could stand on. There were no walkie-talkies, no radios. You walked the beat downtown. You were by yourself, and the cars had radios, and some of the time they worked.
Mm-hmm.
City limits, Belfort Road. City limits on the south end, New River, the bridge. That was it.
Right.
That was all.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I grew up here and I can remember like going to elementary school and passing by what used to be the Kmart was a cow farm. Going up 17 on the left where Walmart's at used to be cows, right,
Yeah.
Chris? You know,
Yeah.
cattle. Piney Green used to be 2 lanes. Western Boulevard, I remember when they first started, you know.
It
I
was 2
hunted
lanes.
on what is now Western Boulevard.
Yeah.
We would walk down from here or walk down to Country Club, on Country Club Road, down to where there was a pulpwood trail
Right.
before you got down to where now Western Boulevard is, because that was all woods, that whole area. We'd walk way back in there. We'd go hunting back down into the swamp areas for squirrels and whatever. We camped back there. We'd walk and all the way out to one of the branches there on New River,
Right.
Northeast Creek. Yeah, Northeast Creek. And we had a spot there we would go camping. We'd haul everything in. Take about an hour to walk in there.
Do you remember the Jacksonville airport used to be on Moose Haven?
Yes, I do. I
Yes,
flew out.
yeah.
That was my first airplane flight. Was
Yeah.
out of there with a pilot who was my age, 16. He hadn't even got his driver's license, but he was a licensed pilot.
Long Acres, which is now
Long
off of
Acres,
Allenville
yes.
Place, was dirt road.
Yep.
Right. Right.
School buses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that used to be the main Gum Branch Road.
Yeah, sure did.
So
Yeah, it's the time. It hasn't. This city has grown a ton, and not. I mean, yeah, it's been some years ago, but you go to other cities that are really old cities. Wilmington,
Right.
okay, they've grown, but they don't grow in leaps and bounds like Jacksonville has.
right. Right.
Jacksonville started from nothing and went kaboom. Holly Ridge had more people living in it than Jacksonville had living in it during the war.
And I do want to re-emphasize, and I truly mean this from my heart, we've had such great leadership
We have.
in our city government over the years that have brought us so much more and made it better. I mean, turn around and look at what we have now
Good
compared
mayors.
to, 10, 15 years ago.
Good mayors.
Yes.
City managers.
Yes.
We've had Jan, or my darling Jan Slagle,
Jan Slagle.
who actually
Beam.
was, well, she was
Used to
Beam,
be Jan Beam.
and prior to that, she was Jan.
What was she prior to that? She was
it
Jan,
was
and then she's
Wilson
Beam.
or Wilkins or Willen. I don't know. It was
And then she became Slagle.
she was a disc jockey at
Yes.
WLAS,
Uh-huh.
early 70s. A
On
disc
my
jockey.
old stations.
WLAS. She was running country music over there. And then she was a reporter for WCTI. And then she became the anchor at WCTI. And suddenly she was the mayor of Jacksonville. And I said, what
Yes.
in the world?
Oh, my daddy loved her.
Oh, she's a nice woman.
She is.
So anyway, okay, we spent enough time. 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. The weather's still going to be hot today, but not as hot. We'll just tell you that. The ocean's okay. Going to be a little bumpy. Keep your eye on the clouds, and there's always a chance of showers and thunderstorms. It's
Please rain.
July.
Yep.
We'll get out of that syndrome sometime in September.
Dr. Rose tomorrow.
Dr. Rosemary
Dr.
Stein tomorrow
Rose.
morning at 7:30. We'll find out what's going on in the world of medicine for kids.
Yes, we will. She keeps us well informed.
I don't think I have any questions for her yet, do we?
We will have
will.
one.
Okay.
We will.
We'll come up with something. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for bearing with us. And if you're watching this on replay, yes, we did run quite a bit longer today, but it was
It's okay.
worthwhile.
We can do
Very
that.
worthwhile. We will talk to you bright and early tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock until 9
Right.
o'clock ish. Maybe one of these days I'm gonna go on at 6:30 just because.
We can do
That would
anything we
that would
want to
mess them
do.
up, right?
We can do whatever we want to do, Rayford.
And get prepared for the election this year because we'll
We still need to talk about that soon.
stay
so-
out that night if the election returns.
Yes,
we went on
Beach
live. It
party.
was like 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Stayed up until 2 o'clock in the morning.
yes, we did.
It won't require that this time.
No.
All right. We will see you. Have a great rest of your day.
Blessed
We're
day.
always awake, never woke. Goodbye.